remains one of the most poorly understood and mysterious natural phenomena on Earth. How did it form? How old is it? Where does it lead? Scientists continue to search for answers. One theory suggests that it's the result of geological survey work, that drilling for minerals nearby may have destabilized the Earth's crust, causing the surface to collapse. But so far, this remains just a theory. And now, imagine a place where sunlight hasn't penetrated for over 5 million years. Imagine a world starved of light, where oxygen is scarce, and a chilling dampness permeates everything. Yet even here, life finds a way. Not just the microscopic wriggling of bacteria, but something larger, something unexpected. The Mobile Cave, nestled in southeastern Romania near the Black Sea, is a world apart. A subterranean realm so unique it feels like another planet entirely. The entrance is unassuming, a mere hole in the earth. A narrow tunnel descends into the darkness, leading to a hidden ecosystem unlike any other. Here, the air is thick with hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide, a toxic cocktail that would be deadly to surface dwellers. Oxygen levels are half of what we breathe above ground, demanding an oxygen mask for any human visitor. But for the cave's inhabitants, this is home. 48 species thrive in this strange environment, and a staggering 33 of them are found nowhere else on Earth. Picture this: ghostly white snails gliding across the rocks, pale spiders with delicate legs, millipedes adorned with enormous whiskers, and translucent shrimp drifting through the water. Unique species of leeches cling to the cave walls, all sustained by a remarkable food chain. At the base of this ecosystem are the bacteria, the autotrophs. These microscopic organisms perform a feat of chemical wizardry, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing vital food particles. The bacteria become sustenance for larger creatures, and those, in turn, are devoured by still larger predators. In this closed environment, evolution has sculpted a self-contained biological system, isolated from the sunlit world above. Transition. Now, let's shift our focus, diving into another realm of mystery. Have you ever pondered the legend of Atlantis? The fabled city, lost beneath the waves, continues to capture our imagination. The story originates with Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, who described a technologically advanced civilization that predated our own. Atlantis, according to the myth, was a powerful society, perhaps akin to the Mayan civilization, but ultimately doomed by its own hubris. Legend has it that the gods, angered by the Atlanteans' greed, unleashed a cataclysmic flood, swallowing their cities and plunging them into the depths. Over the centuries, countless theories have emerged, attempting to pinpoint Atlantis' location. Some place it in the Mediterranean Sea, others beneath the enigmatic Bermuda Triangle. But as science reveals more about our planet's history, the truth may be more nuanced. Atlantis might be an allegory, a cautionary tale about human nature. But the allure of underwater cities remains strong, and today we'll explore real submerged settlements, lost to time and tide. These are not mere myths. They existed, and their ruins offer a tantalizing glimpse into the past. Our first stop, Baia, a city on the Italian coast, once known as the Las Vegas of the Roman Empire. Imagine a bustling resort town, a playground for the Roman elite. Baia was a place of leisure and indulgence, a sprawling spa where the wealthy came to relax and escape the pressures of Roman life. Today, you can explore the submerged remains of Baia by scuba diving, getting face-to-face with perfectly preserved Roman sculptures. Imagine gliding through the water, witnessing crumbled temples and grand buildings, now covered in a layer of moss. For those who prefer to stay dry, glass-bottom boats offer a unique perspective on this underwater museum. Swim down via Herculaneum and behold the ruins of opulent villas. The Vau Vas, showcasing the intricate marble floors that once graced these luxurious homes. Admire the black and white patterns, the astounding shapes that testify to the artistry of Roman craftsmen. Next, we arrive at Portus Julius, where collapsing wall structures litter the seafloor. Well-preserved columns and limestone floors hint at the grandeur that once defined this ancient port. Behold the remnants of the thermal baths of Lacus, where multicolored mosaics still shimmer beneath the waves. Orange, blue, and green tiles catch the light, offering a vibrant reminder of the past. At Pont Volpilla, 25 Roman pillars stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time. Notice the arches, the fragments of frescoes, and the sheer scale of this well-preserved treasure. Baia's location, above natural volcanic vents, provided a constant supply of hot spring water, fueling its reputation as a hedonistic paradise. Emperors like Nero, Cicero, and Caesar sought pleasure and relaxation within its walls. But Baia's glory was not to last. Around the 8th century AD, the city was sacked and its luxurious inhabitants fled. Slowly, inexorably, the water level rose and Baia began its descent into the sea. Transition. Now, picture yourself on a summer vacation, off the coast of Greece, 4 hours outside of Athens, on the Peloponnese Peninsula. You're in Pavlopetri, a place steeped in history. You don your snorkel and prepare for a free dive on a bright sunny day. As you descend, about 13 feet below the surface, you begin to notice patterns on the seabed. The outlines of familiar shapes start to emerge from the depths. As you swim further, the unmistakable form of an entire city unfolds before your eyes. A lost metropolis, submerged and forgotten. How could the water have swallowed an entire city? The rocks are... Imagine, if you will, a scene unfolding on the ocean floor. Structures, perfectly aligned, appearing to be the very foundations of a lost civilization. It was Nicholas Fleming, a British oceanographer enjoying a holiday in Greece, who first stumbled upon Pavlopetri. While meticulously documenting the seafloor, Fleming discovered incredible artifacts. The site teemed with ancient relics, pots, storage vessels, and tools. Among them, a quernstone, a vital implement used for grinding grains into flour. The sheer number of querns discovered points to a settlement dating back to the Bronze Age, roughly 500 years ago, when humans first began to coalesce into towns. This settlement is believed to have thrived for over 2 millennia. Today, Pavlopetri is recognized as the oldest submerged town ever found. What's truly remarkable is that it wasn't a mere village. It was a vibrant port city, complete with stone buildings, a bustling marketplace, streets, and even public squares. Now, let's continue our underwater journey, seeking out secrets in other submerged cities. Picture yourself diving off the coast of the Yaeyama Islands. Here, in the Pacific, the waters are far from tranquil. A powerful current tugs you towards the abyss. Suddenly, a colossal structure looms into view. Thanks to the sunlight penetrating the depths, you begin to make out its form. At first glance, it resembles the ruins of Machu Picchu, far across the globe in Peru. As you draw closer, the shape becomes clear. A pyramid-like structure, complete with arches and staircases. This could easily have been a palace or a fortress. Could this be another sign of human endeavor? What you're witnessing is known as the Yonaguni Monument, sometimes called Japan's Atlantis. This immense structure stretches across an area equivalent to 5 football fields and rises to the height of a 5-story building. Its most striking feature, expansive terraces that could have accommodated large gatherings. Explorers and scientists estimate that Yonaguni dates back 10,000 years, but the question remains, is it a creation of human hands or a natural geological formation? For Professor Masaki Kimura, one of Japan's leading marine geologists, Yonaguni represents the heritage of a lost civilization. Kimura has explored these ruins over 100 times in the last decade. He asserts there are undeniable signs of human craftsmanship. A triangular pool on the monument's surface features a concave shape, a historical symbol of water fountains in the region. Furthermore, a giant turtle is carved into the eastern face of the structure. According to Kimura, turtles hold significant cultural importance. Stone tools recovered from the site have been dated back 10,000 years. However, not all scientists share this conviction. Many believe Yonaguni is the result of millennia of erosion. The fact that the monument is composed of a single, massive rock formation leads them to believe it's not man-made. The sharp edges and flat surfaces resemble a natural formation in Northern Ireland, known as the Giant's Causeway. There, a series of interlocking basalt columns appear like the remnants of a palace, but are actually the product of ancient volcanic activity. Our underwater voyage continues. Our next destination is one of the most famous underwater cities, now transformed into an underwater archaeological park, Port Royal, Jamaica. Today, only ruins remain beneath the waves, but in 1692, this iconic symbol of Petra. But this magnificent structure holds secrets that continue to elude us. How did the Nabateans, thousands of years ago, achieve such architectural precision? The answer remains shrouded in mystery. Did you know there exists another enigmatic site, echoing Petra's grandeur, deep within the desert landscape? We are talking about Medan Cay, which served as a second capital for the Nabatean kingdom. This location holds over 100 intricately decorated tombs, alongside thousands of simpler graves, as well as ancient inscriptions and cave drawings. And like Petra, Medan Cay is embraced by towering sandstone formations, guarding its secrets. Our journey now takes us to a far different scene. Envision a simple wooden shack standing in the vast expanse of Mongolia's Tanger Desert. Nothing surrounds it but endless sand. This humble building, a mere 23 square inches in size, once served as a post office. Abandoned for over 35 years, its fate seemed sealed. But one day, a woman named Mrs. Young stumbled upon this forgotten place. An idea sparked. She and a friend would connect businesses and individuals who wished to send letters and postcards from the world's most isolated post office, all without making the arduous journey themselves. And it worked. While physical visitors remain scarce, the post office thrives online. In December 2021 alone, over 20,000 letters and postcards journeyed from this remote outpost. Located approximately 6 miles from the nearest road, a dedicated post truck collects these messages, embarking on a long journey to deliver them across the globe. Now we cross to Saudi Arabia and the King Abdulaziz Center for World Culture. This building boasts an intriguing modern design. Constructed over nearly a decade, the complex features a towering structure reaching 321 feet into the sky. Let's shift to Palestine, where we find the Stone Matters Pavilion, a stone structure spanning 93 square inches. It is composed entirely of 300 interlocking stones, each supporting the others. Its concave roofs, resembling giant bowls, are ingeniously designed to collect rainwater. This is especially crucial in Iran, where evaporation rates are 3 times higher than the global average. The bowl-like design maximizes water collection, allowing it to form a single mass, slowing evaporation. The outer shell of the roof not only gathers rainwater, but also provides additional shading, creating a natural cooling system by promoting airflow. Our next stop is the Eco Lodge in Egypt. This project is strategically built overlooking the desert and utilizes locally sourced materials such as sun-baked bricks and palm wood. This building stands as a testament to traditional architecture. A central water basin facilitates airflow, keeping the interior naturally cool. Finally, we arrive at the Sahara Interpretation Center in Chile. The Atacama Desert is a major tourist draw. To accommodate the influx of visitors, architects designed a visitor center as part of the wind farm infrastructure. Large windows maximize solar heating, mitigating the region's cold winter months. What's truly remarkable is the building's design. It plunges into complete darkness at night, respecting the pristine night sky. Imagine stumbling upon this building in the darkness. The Black Desert House is designed to respect the stars at night. This house goes completely dark. It dissolves into the night so the stars can appear more prominent. Now, think of any other mysterious desert buildings you might know that weren't on this list. Imagine, back in November 1922, a young boy wandering through the desert mountains of Egypt. He stumbled upon ancient steps carved into the rock. This seemingly small discovery led to one of the world's most significant archaeological finds. These steps were part of Tutankhamun's untouched tomb. Archaeologists followed. Imagine, if you will, sifting through the sands of time, unearthing relics of a glorious past. We're talking about the recovery of countless ancient artifacts, some 5,000 finds, including exquisite jewelry, Intricately woven fabrics, painted vases that once held precious oils, and haunting funeral masks. You've likely seen images of these masks, haven't you? They've become some of the most recognizable symbols of ancient Egypt, iconic representations of a civilization that continues to fascinate us. More than a century has passed since the most significant discoveries, and now humanity may be on the verge of another monumental find, the tomb of Cleopatra. Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, a queen who reigned from 51 to 30 BCE. Her story is etched in ancient records, tales of her reign, and her undeniably unique personality. Yet the secrets surrounding her final days and her burial place have remained elusive until now, perhaps. Enter Dr. Kathleen Martinez, an archaeologist who has dedicated decades to studying ancient texts and exploring the temples scattered around Alexandria. Her research has led her to a compelling conclusion that the tomb of Cleopatra lies hidden beneath the ancient city of Taposiris Magna. Let's picture Taposiris Magna, founded in 280 BCE. It was a bustling metropolis on Egypt's northern coast, a hub of trade and industry where tens of thousands of people lived and worked. And it appears that Dr. Martinez's intuition was correct. She and her team of archaeologists have uncovered a secret underground tunnel near Alexandria, stretching nearly a mile in length. This incredible passage was carved into the bedrock beneath the temple of Taposiris Magna. As they delve deeper into the earth, the discoveries mount. The team has unearthed numerous artifacts that strongly suggest Cleopatra's tomb lies within the tunnel's depths. Could it be that she is interred there alongside the Roman commander Mark Antony? Ancient accounts tell of their passionate love and their united opposition to the Roman Senate, which branded Antony a traitor. But the path to discovery is fraught with challenges. Over millennia, Taposiris Magna has been ravaged by natural disasters. Earthquakes and floods have wreaked havoc on the city, potentially inundating its underground tunnels. Despite these obstacles, the archaeologists remain hopeful that the ancient tomb has remained undisturbed, safeguarding invaluable treasures and records of royal life in ancient Egypt during the reign of the last dynasty. The excavations may require venturing into submerged and muddy environments, demanding considerable time and resources. Yet the archaeologists are convinced that the potential rewards are worth the effort. While it's premature to declare that Cleopatra's tomb has been found, the discoveries within the tunnel are certainly compelling. Clay pots, dozens of coins bearing the likeness of Cleopatra and Alexander the Great, and a bust depicting the Egyptian queen. These are all tantalizing clues. Cleopatra remains an enduring figure in Egyptian history, rivaling the fame of Ramses III and Tutankhamun. Her life has inspired countless films, paintings, and books. But what accounts for her enduring appeal? She was renowned for her enigmatic nature, a beautiful and intelligent ruler who steered Egypt out of crisis and transformed it into a prosperous power. Medieval Arabic texts portray her as a scholar of chemistry, mathematics, and philosophy, even suggesting she authored several scientific works. She was fluent in multiple languages and possessed exceptional diplomatic skills. Yet, legend also paints her as a femme fatale, a woman who captivated and perhaps even ruined men. However, there is little concrete evidence to suggest that her beauty was unparalleled. The image of Cleopatra as a stunning beauty was largely crafted by Hollywood in its portrayals of her, casting famous actresses in the role. Moreover, Octavian, the Roman emperor and adopted son of Julius Caesar, deliberately cultivated an image of Cleopatra as a treacherous seductress, as he was her adversary. Despite being born in Egypt, Cleopatra's heritage was Greek, descended from one of Alexander the Great's generals. Nevertheless, the Egyptian people embraced her. She learned their language and showed deep respect for their traditions. She possessed a thorough understanding of ancient Egypt's history, mentality, and customs. She bolstered the economy and elevated Egypt's status as a global power. Much of this was achieved through her cunning and charisma. She reveled in theatrical performances and extravagant celebrations, always knowing how to captivate and impress. But behind the facade of a lover of luxury was an astute and calculating ruler. Ancient Egypt was a land of immense wealth and opulence, and Cleopatra dedicated herself to expanding its riches and strengthening its position on the world stage. The queen faced a daunting predicament. Her own brother, Ptolemy the Thief, posed a direct threat to her rule. Knowing she couldn't overcome him alone, Cleopatra sought a powerful ally. Her sights landed on none other than Julius Caesar, the Roman emperor. Caesar's arrival in Alexandria became her opportunity. Cleopatra desperately desired to meet him, but Ptolemy, aware of her intentions, was poised to thwart her plans. To circumvent her brother's machinations, Cleopatra orchestrated a clandestine arrival, canvas of cloud formations. There's no static view here. The mirage is a living, breathing reflection of the desert's soul. Now, let's journey onward to a futuristic dwelling, a concept home seemingly ripped from the pages of a science fiction novel. The architect envisioned a structure perfectly complementing Elon Musk's groundbreaking Cybertruck. This cyberhouse, with its distinct post-apocalyptic aesthetic, is designed to withstand almost any disaster scenario. Think imposing steel gates, armored windows, and exterior walls constructed from incredibly durable materials. This modern fortress is managed by an autonomous geothermal heat pump, ensuring a stable internal temperature regardless of the harsh external conditions. The sleek design incorporates an entrance large enough to accommodate the Cybertruck, the very vehicle that inspired its creation. For added security, a specialized lift can transport the Cybertruck to the second floor, elevating it beyond reach. Our next destination transports us to Saudi Arabia, the King Abdullah Petroleum Studies and Research Center. This isn't just a building, it's a laboratory complex engineered to minimize its energy footprint in the demanding desert environment. The architecture incorporates intricate patterns on the walls and ceilings, drawing inspiration from the region's rich tradition of geometric design. From the arid landscapes of Saudi Arabia, we travel to South Africa and the Swartberg House. Nestled near the dramatic Swartberg Mountains, on the fringes of the vast Great Karoo Desert, this four-bedroom dwelling boasts a unique temperature-regulating system. This system acts as a protective shield against the intense summer heat, while simultaneously functioning as a sun trap to capture warmth during the winter months. Behold the Grand Mosque of Djenné in Mali, a towering testament to ingenuity. This mosque, reaching a height of 52 feet, is constructed entirely from sticks and a specialized mixture of mud and other naturally occurring desert elements. A true marvel of sustainable architecture. Now, prepare to be transported to Petra, the ancient city carved into the sandstone cliffs of the Jordanian desert. This city, hidden amongst canyons and mountains, was once a bustling trade center. The red, white, and pink hues of the sandstone create a breathtaking spectacle. You've likely seen images of the treasury, its iconic facade a symbol of Petra's enduring legacy. Yet, mysteries still shroud this ancient wonder. Scientists remain baffled by the Nabateans' ability to construct such intricate structures thousands of years ago. How did they achieve this architectural feat with the tools and knowledge available at the time? But did you know that Petra isn't alone? Another enigmatic site exists in the desert, bearing a striking resemblance. Ma'in Saleh, also known as Hegra. This city served as a second capital for the Nabatean kingdom, leaving behind a wealth of secrets for us to unravel. It boasts over 100 elaborately decorated tombs, thousands of non-monumental graves, and a treasure trove of inscriptions and cave drawings, all nestled within a dramatic sandstone landscape. Our journey takes an unexpected turn to the desolate Tangier Desert of Mongolia. Here, amidst a sea of sand, stands a solitary wooden shack, a former post office. Surrounded by nothing but sand, this tiny building, a mere 23 square inches, saw few visitors. Abandoned for over 35 years, its fate was forever altered by a chance discovery. Mrs. Young and her friend envisioned a unique business venture, connecting people with the world's loneliest post office, allowing them to send letters and postcards without physically venturing to this remote location. The idea took off. While the post office itself remains largely devoid of visitors, its online presence thrives. In December 2021 alone, over 20,000 letters and postcards were dispatched from this unlikely outpost. Located approximately 6 miles from the nearest road, a dedicated post truck collects the mail, embarking on a long journey to deliver these messages across the globe. Our next stop in Saudi Arabia is the King Abdulaziz Center for World Culture, a building of striking design. This complex structure, a testament to architectural ambition, took nearly a decade to complete. The 321-foot tower commands attention with its distinctive form. Finally, we arrive at the Stone Matters Pavilion in Palestine, a stone structure spanning 93 square inches. Constructed entirely from 300 interlocking stones, the pavilion stands as a testament to the power of balance and mutual support. Each stone plays a crucial role in maintaining the structure's integrity. Picture this: structures that seem like colossal bowls perched atop buildings. These aren't mere decorations. They are ingenious rainwater collectors, a common sight in Iran. Now, consider that in Iran, the rate at which water vanishes into thin air is triple the global average. This bowl-shaped design becomes invaluable. It gathers water, allowing it to mass together, clinging to existence before the relentless sun can claim it. The roof's outer shell not only snares precious rainwater, but acts as a vital sun shield. Air currents dance freely, creating a natural cooling system, a dual-purpose design marvel. Our journey then takes us to an eco-lodge in Egypt, a structure that gracefully surveys the stark desert landscape. Built from sun-baked bricks and the sturdy trunks of palm trees, sourced locally, it stands as a testament to traditional architectural wisdom. A carefully positioned water basin invites the breeze, naturally air conditioning the interior. Next, we find ourselves in Chile's Atacama Desert, a magnet for tourists. To cater to the influx of visitors, architects have crafted a visitor center as part of a sprawling wind farm. Here, in a place where winter's icy grip could easily take hold, ingenious design triumphs. Expansive windows drink in the sun's warmth, providing natural heating. But here's the twist. As darkness falls, the building vanishes, dissolving into the night. Imagine stumbling upon it, or rather, not stumbling upon it, under a canopy of stars. This is the Black Desert House, a structure that reveres the night sky, fading into the background to allow the cosmos to shine. Perhaps you know of other mysterious desert structures, unmentioned here? Share their stories. This summer feels relentless, doesn't it? Like marshmallows slowly roasting on a scorching grill. As the world heats up, remember that some regions have always battled extreme temperatures, and, remarkably, people devised solutions long ago to stay cool, some still in use after 3 millennia. Let's journey back in time and explore how civilizations conquered the heat. Grab a cold drink, add an ice cube, and prepare to discover the ingenuity of those who came before. Speaking of ice, did you know that the Persians pioneered ice storage systems in the heart of the desert? Ancient Persians, faced with the challenge of keeping food from becoming a melted mess, developed a revolutionary idea. These resourceful people stumbled upon a physics principle that allowed them to conjure ice amidst scorching sands. They called these remarkable structures yakhchals, which translates to ice pits. These were no ordinary coolers. Imagine them as secret subterranean refrigerators. From the outside, they resembled dome-shaped structures made of mud bricks. But within, an entirely different world awaited. These ice pits utilized an evaporative cooling system that worked like magic. At night, as the desert released its heat, the Persians took advantage of radiated cooling. They created cleverly designed trenches to hold thin layers of water. Defying the desert's warmth, the water froze. Below ground, square storage areas awaited. The Persians collected the melting ice water from these trenches, and as night fell, they froze it again, maximizing the desert's natural coolness. To further enhance the cooling effect, they erected walls to shield the storage areas from the intense midday sun. And there's more. They employed ingenious wind-catching contraptions called badgears, which captured the slightest breeze and channeled it directly into the ice pits. Fresh air combined with ice-cold air, a winning formula. Intricate water channels known as qanats were also used to bring water to the ice pits and homes, all the way from the distant mountains. Over time, these yakhchals faded into history, giving way to modern technology. But there's good news. Dedicated individuals in Iran are working to restore these ancient coolers. Should you ever find yourself in the desert, be sure to visit these incredible sites and witness the genius of the ancient Persians firsthand. Now, let's focus on those wind catchers, the bad gears, because their function extends far beyond simply making ice. They served as a comprehensive cooling system. In their heyday, these architectural marvels were all the rage in regions like Persia, modern-day Iran, Egypt, and throughout the Middle East. Imagine tower-like structures adorned with strategically placed openings. Imagine ancient cities baking under the relentless sun. But within those walls, a surprising coolness prevailed, all thanks to ingenious designs that harness the power. To the present day, designers are pushing the boundaries of innovation, blending traditional wisdom with cutting-edge technology. The Al Bar Towers in Abu Dhabi stand as a testament to this fusion. Imagine over 2,000 hexagonal panels, each one responding dynamically to the sun's movement, providing optimal shade to the building's interior. The water of evaporation was another secret weapon employed by ancient civilizations, simple yet incredibly effective. Ancient Egyptians would hang wet mats and curtains in doorways. As air flowed through these dampened barriers, it underwent evaporative cooling, providing a welcome respite from the scorching sun. Ancient architects were masters of maximizing airflow. They understood the principles of cross-ventilation, allowing hot air to escape while simultaneously drawing in cooler air. Speaking of ancient Rome, bathhouses were the social hubs of their time. People would gather to discuss politics, engage in sports, and, of course, indulge in a relaxing soak. The frigidarium served as the cool sanctuary within the Roman baths. After a steamy session in the caldarium, Romans would plunge into this expansive pool to cool down. Then, in some places, like Cappadocia in Turkey, people went underground to hide. From the ingenuity born of sheer necessity, ancient peoples sculpted cozy dwellings within volcanic rock. Imagine them, skillfully harnessing the Earth's natural cooling properties, finding respite from the scorching sun. The lesson echoes through time. Architects and designers can conjure wonders by intertwining local traditions with clever technology. Consider the extremes our planet offers. California's Death Valley lays claim to the highest officially recorded temperature, a staggering 134 degrees, etched into the annals of weather history in 1913. Not to be outdone, Africa's sweltering record stands at 103 degrees, documented in Kabylie, Tunisia, back in 1931. And Europe. The mercury soared to almost 120 degrees in sun-drenched Sicily in August 2021. Even the United Kingdom, in 2022, wilted under its hottest summer ever recorded. Now let's transport ourselves to Africa, a land teeming with unique wildlife, a vibrant tapestry of cultures and languages, and, most notably, the domain of the world's largest hot desert, the Sahara. Picture this. It's midday, the sun a relentless hammer. Thirst claws at your throat, and you yearn for the cool embrace of shade. For days you've trudged onward, driven by the mirage of a life-giving oasis. It feels so close, yet the horizon mocks you, forever receding. Exhaustion weighs heavy, your body screaming under the oppressive heat. It's as if you've consumed a mountain of fiery peppers, the sweat pouring from every pore. And when we say hot, envision an unrelenting 100 degrees Celsius. On average. Small wonder you're suffering. You're lost in the heart of the world's most expansive hot desert. But let's clarify. When we say biggest desert, we're talking heat. The truly colossal deserts are the icy behemoths of Antarctica and the Arctic. Antarctica's frozen wasteland sprawls across an area roughly equivalent to 1 million LAXs. That's Los Angeles International Airports. The Arctic Desert, while still immense, is a touch smaller. For those unfamiliar, the Sahara Desert dominates northern Africa, a sandy ocean stretching from the Atlantic to the Red Sea. Its vastness is almost incomprehensible, an area large enough to accommodate approximately 100,000 Disney World theme parks, neatly arranged side by side. And, according to scientists, this already colossal domain is expanding. Deserts typically arise in subtropical regions, a consequence of what's known as Hadley circulation. Air ascends at the equator and descends in the subtropics, creating a drying effect that fosters the formation of these arid landscapes. Since the 1920s, the Sahara is estimated to have expanded by over 10%. But how is this possible? Let's journey back to the beginning. You likely know the Sahara Desert as one of the most inhospitable places on Earth today. To earn the title of desert, a region must receive less than 4 inches of rainfall annually. This meager precipitation leads to extreme aridity. The air is parched, humidity is negligible, and daytime temperatures can soar to a blistering 130 degrees. Consequently, plant and animal life are scarce. However, the Sahara wasn't always this way. It's difficult to imagine northern Africa without its seemingly endless sea of sand, but approximately 20,000 years ago, the Sahara was a verdant oasis. Recent discoveries offer compelling evidence of what scientists now call the Green Sahara. In the mid-1800s, a German explorer traversing the Sahara stumbled upon a collection of paintings and engravings left behind by nomadic artists. What he saw defied the reality around him. Instead of a barren landscape populated by camels and sparse desert vegetation, the rock paintings depicted jungle animals, giraffes, hippos. There were even images of livestock and grazing animals, cattle and sheep, a concept seemingly impossible in the modern Sahara. Artists typically depict their surroundings. This revelation deeply intrigued the German explorer. The drawings were so detailed, suggesting intimate familiarity with these animals. This rock art is scattered across the northern reaches of the African continent, from Western Sahara to Saudi Arabia. Geologists soon became captivated, uncovering the first clues to explain this anomaly. They confirmed that northern Africa was once significantly wetter. Evidence emerged from deep-sea sediment off the coast of Mauritania. Sampled cores of underwater sand and mud, known as Saharan dust flux, revealed to geologists that a green Sahara was indeed a reality. The more dust that blows off the desert. Imagine traveling back in time, peering into sediment cores extracted from the depths of the ocean and the heart of the desert. These cores whisper tales of a Sahara vastly different from the arid expanse we know today. The drier the climate, the less dust these cores reveal. During humid periods, dust levels plummet to half of what they are now, originating from northern Africa. This dramatic shift is intrinsically linked to the Earth's majestic, natural cycles. Picture our planet spinning, tilted at approximately 23.5 degrees. However, this angle isn't fixed. It subtly dances and shifts over millennia. Earth's axial tilt dictates the amount of sunlight each hemisphere bathes in, profoundly impacting the planet's delicate ecosystems. During the era of the Green Sahara, our planet basked in 4 to 8% more sunlight than it does in our time. Around 20,000 years ago, as the Earth's tilt adjusted, the northern hemisphere was flooded with more direct sunlight, which drastically altered humidity levels. This surge of warmth supercharged monsoon activity, especially the West African monsoon. Monsoons, those powerful wind systems, govern a region's rainfall and humidity. As the northern hemisphere heated up, vast amounts of air rose, intertwining with the winds to draw moisture high into the atmosphere. Gradually, northern Africa underwent a remarkable transformation, becoming increasingly lush. This surge of moisture transformed the Sahara. Imagine actual bodies of water shimmering in what is now a desolate desert. Vegetation exploded across the landscape, the plants tenaciously gripping moisture far more effectively than the barren sand ever could. Evidence of ancient natural basins and colossal lakes, so vast they could swallow all of the U.S. Great Lakes, abounds throughout the Sahara. Archaeologists have unearthed compelling evidence of vibrant societies thriving in what are now arid zones. These ancient cultures masterfully harnessed the bounty of the African humid period. Researchers estimate that the human population across the Sahara peaked roughly 9,000 years ago. The sands whisper of fireplaces, hunting tools, fish hooks, and even colossal mounds of fish bones. Records suggest that over the last 8 million years, the Sahara has experienced over 230 green periods. Solar radiation, ever-changing due to natural orbital cycles, ensures that Earth will undoubtedly witness another green Sahara moment, It may be millennia away, but it is an inevitability. Yet just as the Sahara blossoms into green, it inevitably reverts to yellow. All it requires is a significant axial tilt and a few years of readjustment. However, another more concerning phenomenon is capturing the attention of scientists: desertification. Recent studies by the National Science Foundation and the University of Maryland reveal that the Sahara has expanded by a staggering 10% in the past 90 years. This desertification signifies the alarming conversion of fertile land into barren desert. The Sahara Desert is relentlessly encroaching upon the semi-arid Sahel region. In 1950, this region was home to 31 million people. Today, its population exceeds 100 million. This explosive population growth has significantly fueled the Sahara's expansion. Farmers, once nomadic, have settled, leading to more intensive land usage that weakens the soil. The relentless demand for food has caused overgrazing, further accelerating the desertification process. The study also underscores the role of natural climate cycles in influencing rainfall patterns in the Sahara and, century, the Maya had depleted their resources, rendering them unable to sustain their burgeoning population. Others suggest that internecine conflicts between city-states shattered their traditional power structures. Still others point to prolonged droughts as the primary culprit. Perhaps it was a confluence of all these factors that ultimately led to their decline. Interestingly, one Mayan city, nestled on an island, defied this trend, enduring until the 17th century, long after the demise or abandonment of its sister cities. Today, travelers might recognize it by its modern name: Flores. Scientists estimate that around 2,000 souls inhabited this resilient city. The earliest Maya were farmers, cultivating essential crops like beans, squash, corn, and cassava. With their rich array of ingredients, they crafted a diverse culinary tapestry, many threads of which still persist today. Modern Mexican cuisine, in particular, owes a debt to the Mayan palate, with ingredients like papayas, cacao, avocados, squash, pineapples, chili peppers, and beans holding a prominent place. While the Maya primarily practiced a form of slash-and-burn agriculture, evidence suggests they also employed more sophisticated techniques, such as terracing and irrigation. And then there's chocolate. The Maya were, without a doubt, chocolate aficionados. Over 3,500 years ago, the people of Mesoamerica were likely the first to realize that creating chocolate was something that took some work to make. The Maya transformed it into a true art form. Archaeological discoveries of cacao residue in Mayan pottery confirm their deep connection to this beloved treat. They concocted a spicy, savory hot chocolate beverage by blending chocolate with honey, water, cornmeal, and chili peppers, a concoction still enjoyed today in Mexico and Central America. The Maya also possessed a written language, meticulously recorded in their books. These books were crafted from strips of fig tree bark, forming a vast library of knowledge. These ancient books, known as codices, offer a glimpse into their world. Sadly, time and the elements have taken their toll. The humid climate, coupled with human actions, has resulted in the loss of many of these invaluable texts. Only 4 codices remain. The classic Maya were prolific builders, erecting palaces and stepped pyramid-shaped temples adorned with intricate inscriptions and reliefs. Their artistic prowess earned them a reputation as the preeminent artists of Mesoamerica. The Mayans had a very specific idea of beauty. For them, flat foreheads were the epitome of beauty. They were deeply invested in aesthetics, and achieving a flattened forehead was a key aspect of meeting their standards. They enhanced their appearance with makeup and elaborate clothing. The Maya were also master tattoo artists, among the first civilizations to embrace this form of body art. The Maya had a rich culture and a complex belief system, encompassing mythical creatures known as aluxis. Similar to fairies in other cultures, these beings held a special place in their world. The Maya would fashion sculptures of aluxis from wood or clay, concealing them in secret spots within the forest. They believed that these sculptures would come to life during the night, acting as guardians of their land, animals, and crops. Caves in Mayan cosmology were considered portals to the underworld. Today, you can explore these caves, venturing into the jungles of Quintana Roo and Yucatan near Cancun, where researchers have unearthed numerous Mayan artifacts. The Maya were pioneers in the use of rubber latex, crafting rubber balls for their various games. They extracted natural latex and combined it with other natural substances, creating the bouncy balls that were central to their sporting traditions. Imagine, millions of years ago, even the ancient Maya civilization sought comfort and relaxation. They constructed elaborate steam baths, stone structures remarkably similar to what we recognize today as bathtubs. Moreover, they engineered heated stone enclosures, essentially prehistoric sweat lodges. Archaeological researchers have unearthed these fascinating structures in El Salvador and Guatemala, often concealed beneath layers of volcanic ash, remnants of long-ago eruptions. Now, let's fast forward to a different kind of challenge. The unforgiving desert. A realm of stark landscapes, scarce resources, and temperatures that push the limits. While some might dream of chocolate desserts, these environments demand a different kind of adaptation. Just as the cactus and camel have evolved to thrive, so too must human structures. Behold the Earthship, an astonishing example of desert architecture. Nestled in a New Mexico desert community, these unique homes house a collective of like-minded individuals. Intriguingly, the location of these dwellings is officially registered as a dumpster site. Perhaps this is due to their construction, primarily from discarded materials. Old tires, glass bottles, and aluminum cans. Earthships operate on principles of sustainable green building. Remarkably, roughly 40% of a typical Earthship is composed of natural or recycled components. Picture walls constructed from hundreds of used tires, densely packed with earth. Envision towering, floor-to-ceiling windows designed for passive solar heating. These windows capture the sun's warmth during the cold winter months and reflect it away during the scorching summer, maintaining a comfortable internal temperature. You might even see rows of plants in glass bottles or aluminum cans integrated into the walls, creating a truly distinctive aesthetic. Mike Reynolds, an architect, recognized the alarming levels of waste and consumption in the 1970s. His response? A fully sustainable home crafted from discarded cans. Decades later, Reynolds became a central figure, uniting other Earthship enthusiasts. He even famously drove a Mercedes powered by vegetable oil collected from local fast food restaurants. A standard two-bedroom Earthship in this community might cost around $250,000. However, ambitious projects like the Dobson House can reach upwards of $1.5 million. But consider this, by undertaking the construction yourself, with the help of family and friends, you can drastically reduce labor costs, making the project significantly more affordable. So, where can you build one of these remarkable structures? Virtually anywhere. Earthships have proven their adaptability, thriving in the frigid, dry climate of Canada, as well as the humid heat of Haiti. Next, we journey to Southern California and the Mirage Mirror House, an art installation that debuted in 2017 as part of a contemporary exhibition. Clad entirely in mirrors, this minimalist structure seamlessly merges with its desert surroundings. The absence of doors, windows, and conventional openings creates an immersive and unforgettable experience. The landscape is reflected back upon itself, blurring the lines between art and nature. Imagine the effect. Mirrored surfaces transforming under the changing light. At night, distant lights are refracted, creating mesmerizing patterns. During the day, the sky itself becomes an ever-shifting canvas of clouds. No two views from this house are ever the same. What about a futuristic vision for desert living? One architect has conceived a concept home perfectly suited to Elon Musk's Cybertruck. With a distinctly post-apocalyptic theme, a design intended to withstand disaster scenarios, this cyberhouse is fortified with steel gates, armored windows, and super-strong exterior walls. An autonomous geothermal heat pump maintains a stable internal temperature, a decidedly less sci-fi way of saying it's incredibly efficient. This sleek, modern dwelling features an entrance large enough to accommodate the Cybertruck, its primary inspiration. Furthermore, the Cybertruck can be lifted to the second floor for added security. Finally, consider the King Abdullah Petroleum Studies and Research Center in Saudi Arabia. This cutting-edge laboratory in the heart of the desert is designed for maximum efficiency and minimal energy consumption. The architecture incorporates intricate patterns on the walls and ceilings, a nod to the region's rich tradition of geometric design. Our journey concludes at the Swartberg House in South Africa. Located near the Swartberg Mountains, but on the fringe of the expansive Great Karoo Desert, this four-bedroom residence boasts a sophisticated temperature regulation system. This system acts as a shield against the summer heat and a sun trap during the winter, ensuring year-round comfort. Deep in the heart of Mali, we find an incredible structure. The mosque in Mali, soaring to a height of 52 feet. Imagine that. A tower built entirely from sticks, combined with a special blend of mud and other natural elements gathered from the harsh desert environment. Now let's journey to another breathtaking location. Picture Petra, the ancient city nestled within the Jordanian desert. Here, the architecture isn't constructed. It's carved directly into the faces of sandstone cliffs, a kaleidoscope of red, white, and pink hues. This city, hidden among canyons and mountains near the desert's edge, once thrived as a bustling trade center. You've likely seen images of the treasury, its facade, in a stark contrast to the grand entrances befitting royalty. Instead of a spectacle of wealth and fanfare, she concealed herself within a carpet, or perhaps a linen bag. Accounts vary. The emperor's servants unwittingly carried this unusual gift into Caesar's private chambers. Imagine their surprise when Cleopatra emerged, revealing herself to the Roman emperor. Her beauty, coupled with her fierce determination, captivated Caesar. A powerful alliance was forged, and a legendary romance blossomed. Time passed, and Cleopatra recognized the need for another powerful Roman ally. This time, it was Mark Antony. Her arrival to meet him was nothing short of theatrical. Picture a golden barge, its purple sails billowing in the wind, silver oars flashing in the sun as it glides along the water. Cleopatra, costumed as Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love, reclined beneath a magnificent canopy. Her servants, dressed as cupids, fluttered around her, fanning her and burning fragrant incense. This elaborate display was carefully calculated. Cleopatra knew that Antony, a man who revered Greek mythology, even considering himself the embodiment of Dionysus, would be utterly spellbound. And she was right. Antony was completely enthralled. He was so smitten that he eventually married her. Cleopatra had successfully defended her crown, solidified her alliance with Rome, and even bore Antony 3 children. Life in Egypt became a whirlwind of extravagant parties and displays of wealth and power. However, this scandalous relationship between a high-ranking Roman official and the Egyptian queen ignited a firestorm of controversy back in Rome. Octavian, Antony's chief rival in the relentless power struggle, seized the opportunity to tarnish his competitor's reputation. He launched a propaganda campaign, painting Cleopatra as a cunning and insidious seductress in the eyes of the Roman citizenry. He accused Antony of succumbing to her irresistible charms. The Roman Senate, swayed by Octavian's rhetoric, declared Cleopatra an enemy of the state in 33 BCE. The conflict reached its zenith when Antony's navy clashed with Octavian's fleet in a cataclysmic naval battle. Octavian's forces emerged victorious, forcing Antony to flee to Egypt with Cleopatra. According to historical accounts, they sought refuge near Alexandria, relentlessly pursued by the Romans. They hid within one of Cleopatra's palaces, where they ultimately met their tragic end. Legends abound regarding Cleopatra's demise. Some whisper that she was an expert in poisons, and that she deliberately provoked a venomous snake, a viper, or perhaps an Egyptian cobra, Najahaje, to bite her. Other tales claim she pricked herself with a poison needle. Still another theory suggests Cleopatra always carried a hidden ampule of poison within her hairbrush, and when cornered, she soaked a needle in the poison and ended her own life. The truth remains shrouded in mystery. Scientists continue to investigate, hoping that the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb will finally reveal the definitive answers surrounding her tragic fate. Cleopatra, the last ruler of Egypt, left an indelible mark on history. After her death, Octavian plundered her palaces and temples, returning to Rome where he ascended to become the supreme emperor. He ruled successfully, expanding the empire's borders until his death at the age of 75. Imagine how profoundly different world history would be if Cleopatra and Mark Antony had prevailed in that pivotal naval battle. Consider this. More time separates Cleopatra's reign from Neil Armstrong's historic moon landing than separates her from the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Armstrong took his first steps on the lunar surface in 1969, a full 38 years after Cleopatra's birth. The construction of the Great Pyramid, however, dates back to approximately 2560 BCE. A truly staggering thought, isn't it? Cleopatra is closer to our time than she is to the pyramids themselves. The sheer expanse of ancient Egyptian history is almost incomprehensible. Now, let's journey to a place that seems ripped from the pages of science fiction. A cave isolated from the outside world for an astonishing 5.5 million years. A place where life has evolved in complete darkness, cut off from the sun's life-giving rays. Prepare to witness something truly extraordinary. This is the Mobile Cave. Due to its prolonged isolation, the conditions within Mobile Cave are unlike anywhere else on Earth. A unique ecosystem has flourished in this subterranean realm, despite the complete absence of sunlight and the presence of a toxic atmosphere. The cave, located a few miles west of the Black Sea in Romania, was first discovered in 1986. Today, access is strictly controlled, requiring special permission. Furthermore, the central caverns are naturally guarded by a labyrinth of narrow limestone, tunnels, and perilous vertical shafts. If claustrophobia isn't your friend, this might be a place to avoid. Venture into the heart of this cave at your own peril. The air here is shockingly thin, containing half the oxygen found above ground. Instead, a noxious blend of carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide dominates the atmosphere, hardly the most invigorating air to breathe. And to add to the challenge, absolute darkness reigns within this subterranean realm. Yet, perhaps surprisingly, these seemingly insurmountable conditions have fostered a unique ecosystem. Life, against all odds, thrives here. A 1996 study revealed a staggering 48 distinct species, with an astounding 33 found nowhere else on Earth. The cave's inhabitants are typically small creatures, equipped with elongated limbs and antennae, perfectly adapted for navigating the lightless abyss. Vision is obsolete in this world, and vibrant colors serve no purpose. Why develop the ability to see when darkness is absolute? And why bother with elaborate displays when there are no eyes to witness them? Now, let's journey to another cave, equally astonishing but utterly different in appearance. Welcome to the Giant Crystal Cave, also known as the Cave of Crystals, nestled deep beneath Mexico. These colossal crystals were unearthed in the year 2000 by a mining company. After pumping the groundwater from the cave, 2 miners ventured inside, discovering a landscape of breathtaking beauty. These awe-inspiring formations are actually massive pillars of gypsum, hidden nearly 1,000 feet below the surface. They are firmly rooted to the cave's walls and floor, which are perpetually heated. Scientists estimate that these crystals have been growing for perhaps 500,000 years. That immense timescale explains their extraordinary size. Many are so large that you could walk across them. Unfortunately, witnessing this natural wonder firsthand is currently impossible. Perhaps that's for the best, as the Giant Crystal Cave is a hazardous environment that could easily become a deadly trap. For tens of thousands of years, the cave was submerged in groundwater, forced upwards by a magma chamber deep within the earth. The magma maintained the water's high temperature, but eventually it cooled below 136 degrees. As a result, the water became saturated with calcium and sulfate, which combined to form gypsum. Slowly, over countless millennia, these white-tinted crystals expanded to dominate the cave. Their continued submersion allowed them to grow to truly immense proportions. You don't need to travel to distant galaxies to witness phenomena similar to black holes. Scientists have discovered oceanic counterparts in the southern Atlantic Ocean. A black hole possesses such immense gravitational pull that nothing, not even light, can escape its grasp once trapped. Oceanic black holes, however, mimic this behavior with water instead of light. These are ocean eddies, colossal whirlpools that spin in opposition to the main current. They often contain billions of tons of water, and many are larger than entire cities. These whirlpools are so powerful that anything caught within their grasp is unable to escape. The frightening aspect is that you might not even realize you are entering one. Their scale is so vast that their boundaries remain imperceptible until it's too late. When scientists began studying ocean vortices using satellites, they identified the boundaries of several eddies. Subsequently, they were able to mathematically demonstrate that these whirlpools share characteristics with black holes in space. Massive eddies are encircled by extremely tight barriers where fluid moves in closed loops. Not even water can break free from these loops. Consequently, these tight ocean vortices function as enormous containers. The water contained within them can drastically differ from the surrounding ocean, not only in temperature, but also in salt content. On the slender Curonian Spit, which separates the Baltic Sea from the Curonian Lagoon, lies one of the most peculiar places on Earth. The locals call it the Dancing Forest. Here, pine trees exhibit bizarre, unnatural shapes. They twist and contort into spirals and circles along the forest floor. Many theories attempt to explain this strange phenomenon. Some attribute it to clashing positive and negative energies. Others propose more grounded explanations. The mystery remains as to why certain trees in this area refuse to stand tall. One theory points to the geological makeup. The sandy soil is simply too unstable to support upright growth. Another, more popular explanation suggests that relentless winds sweeping in from the water sculpt the trees into their unusual shapes. Whatever the cause, experts haven't reached a definitive conclusion. Now, let's turn our attention to an equally baffling phenomenon: underwater crop circles. These intricate formations were first discovered in 1995 off the coast of southern Japan. Local divers dubbed these 7-foot-wide structures mystery circles. For nearly 2 decades, the enigma stumped marine biologists and curious onlookers alike. Then, finally, the culprit was unmasked. Imagine the researchers' astonishment when they discovered that a male pufferfish was the artist behind these aquatic masterpieces. It takes the fish just over a week to construct a single circle, and aesthetics are clearly paramount. The male meticulously swims within the circle, using his fins to carve valleys into the sand. But the artistry doesn't stop there. He also adorns specific sections of his creation with shells and corals. This elaborate construction serves a practical purpose beyond mere decoration. As the male swims, he pushes sand towards the center of the circle, creating a mound that will eventually serve as a nest for his offspring. Our next mystery lies in the Caribbean Sea, just off the coast of Belize. Here we find the Great Blue Hole, a colossal sinkhole stretching approximately 1,000 feet across and plunging to depths exceeding 400 feet. Long ago, this immense void was a cave system, but as sea levels rose, the caves flooded, eventually collapsing in on themselves to form the sinkhole we see today. As you descend into the Great Blue Hole's crystalline waters, darkness envelops you. You'll encounter a labyrinth of stalactite-filled caves. However, venturing into these submerged caverns is fraught with peril, risking disorientation and getting hopelessly lost. At a depth of 50 feet, you'll notice a shimmering effect in the water, the invisible boundary separating the sinkhole's salty upper layer from the freshwater abyss below. Perhaps this is a good point to turn back. Who knows what lurks in those murky depths? An ancient Amazonian legend spoke of a river so scalding that it boiled. For generations, it was dismissed as mere folklore until Peruvian geoscientist Andres Russo questioned its possibility. Experts scoffed at the idea, pointing out that hot rivers typically exist only in volcanically active regions, which this part of the Amazon lacked. But Russo was undeterred. In 2011, he finally located the legendary river. The water was indeed steaming hot, registering a temperature of 186 degrees King. While not quite boiling, it was certainly close. But what truly astonished Russo was the sheer scale of the river. One might expect such intensely heated water to originate from a small, isolated hot spring. However, This river was 20 feet deep and flowed for nearly 4 miles. It is truly a unique phenomenon on our planet. Vast, scorching deserts may appear lifeless at first glance, but within these seemingly barren landscapes dwell creatures both dangerous and unsettling. Some pose minor health risks, while others leave a lasting impression. Let's explore some of these desert inhabitants, starting with the merely dangerous and culminating with genuine nightmares. Imagine trekking through the desert and spotting what appears to be a giant teddy bear with open arms. You assume it's a mirage, but as you draw closer, you realize it's no illusion. It's a massive cactus, but something is undeniably strange about it. A peculiar fuzzy covering gives its branches the appearance of a teddy bear's limbs. However, this isn't fluff. It's a dense collection of thousands of razor-sharp needles. This is the jumping cholla, also known as the teddy bear cholla, Cylindropuntia bigelovii. It thrives in the desert regions of Arizona and northern Mexico. Rest assured, this cactus won't actively attack you. However, its barbed spines readily latch onto skin or clothing upon contact. This formidable fur coat serves multiple purposes. It deters animals, provides shade, and helps the cactus conserve moisture. The lateral branches are particularly vital as they conduct photosynthesis and store substantial amounts of water. So, despite its dangers, the teddy bear cholla can be a source of hydration for desperate desert wanderers, provided they can navigate its needle-laden defenses. A closer look at those needles reveals their sinister, hook-like shape. Imagine yourself in the arid landscapes where even the plants pose a threat. You reach out, perhaps drawn by the strange, segmented form of a jumping cholla cactus. Instantly, hundreds of microscopic thorns are embedded in your skin. These aren't easily removed, and they deliver a painful sting. But this cactus has an even more sinister trick: reproduction through unwitting carriers. As animals or even humans brush against the jumping cholla, the plant readily detaches a small segment, embedding it, spines and all, into the passerby. This piece, now transported to a new location, quickly takes root, creating a new cholla. But the desert holds even more immediate dangers. A large bird is rapidly closing the distance, an ostrich. Many dismiss these creatures as timid, burying their heads in the sand. But get too close, especially to their nest, and you'll quickly revise that opinion. The problem? You won't outrun it. Ostriches can reach speeds of up to 43 miles per hour, so you'd need a vehicle to escape. These birds are known to attack, charging and striking with their powerful chests. There are even documented cases of ostriches attacking vans, causing considerable damage. However, the true danger lies in their legs. Equipped with sharp claws, an ostrich's kick can deliver a devastating blow, capable of incapacitating even a grown man. So, seeing an ostrich in the distance is your cue to find another route. Now, lurking beneath the sands is another danger: the Gila monster, Heloderma suspectum. This spotted lizard spends much of its life hidden underground in the deserts of the southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico, occasionally emerging to hunt. While seemingly harmless, the Gila monster is a venomous predator. Its thick skin offers protection from predators like hawks and coyotes. But its most potent defense is its venom. Unlike snakes that inject venom through fangs, the Gila monster bites down and chews, allowing the toxin to seep into its prey. A bite from this creature is a harrowing experience. Victims describe the sensation as molten magma coursing through their veins. Removing the tenacious reptile can be a challenge. Yet surprisingly, this venom has proven valuable to science. Researchers have utilized it to develop medications for diabetes and obesity. As the sun beats down, another desert horror emerges. Silence. Complete silence. You scan the surroundings, but nothing stirs. Then, a faint hissing sound. You look down, and there it is. A camel spider, also known as a solifugae. This arachnid, though not a true spider, is the size of a human hand, with powerful jaws and long spindly legs. It lurks in the shadow of your body, seeking refuge from the scorching sun. Instinctively, you recoil in horror and try to escape, but it gives chase. Though its appearance is fearsome, the creature isn't truly interested in you. It merely seeks the cool shade you provide. However, getting bitten by one of these creatures is something you want to avoid. The camel spider's powerful jaws can inflict a very painful bite. These creatures are fearless and aggressive predators, feeding on insects, lizards, rodents, and even small birds. They can move with surprising speed, reaching up to 10 miles per hour. To outrun one, you'd need to be an athlete in peak condition. Camel spiders are commonly found in the deserts of the Middle East, but they also inhabit parts of Mexico and the southwestern United States. Nocturnal hunters, they avoid the sun, making your shadow a prime hunting ground. The name camel spider comes from their habit of seeking shade beneath camels. While they hunt during the day, they are attracted to light at night, drawn to campfires in hopes of finding prey. Some species even produce a hissing sound to startle potential enemies. Let's leave the desert for now and venture into the humid tropics of Tanzania. Here, beneath the bark of trees, amongst fallen leaves, and in the depths of dark caves, lurks another terrifying creature. The tailless whip scorpion, also known as an amblypygid. Imagine a scorpion without its tail, its body flattened as if pressed. While related to spiders and scorpions, these creatures are in their own order, amblypygi. It possesses no venom glands and cannot weave a web. This creature is a silent predator, striking with incredible speed. But the truly terrifying aspect? Its two front claws, each twice the length of its entire body. Any prey unfortunate enough to be ensnared in their grasp has absolutely no chance of escape. Life spent in the perpetual darkness of caves has unfortunately compromised its eyesight, compelling the whip scorpion to shy away from sunlight. When it's time to molt, shedding its old exoskeleton, it ascends to, imagine a landscape of colossal proportions, a sea of sand stretching as far as the eye can see. We're talking about the Sahara Desert, a titan that sprawls across 8% of the Earth's landmass. To put that in perspective, it's larger than the entire United States or China. Surprisingly, it isn't the world's largest desert. That title belongs to the icy expanses of Antarctica and the Arctic. But when it comes to scorching heat, the Sahara reigns supreme. Temperatures here can soar to a blistering 136 degrees, 58 Troikras. Here, before us, are some of the most breathtaking sand dunes on the planet, rising to heights of up to 176 feet, 450 meters. But there's a looming threat on the horizon. These very dunes may continue their relentless march, potentially engulfing the world. The influence of the Sahara isn't confined to Africa alone. Carried by powerful winds, its dust travels thousands of miles. It regularly reaches the UK and blankets much of the European continent, particularly during winter months. This Saharan dust, settling after rainfall, is a common sight in Britain, often leaving a distinctive red film on cars. This connection, seemingly fragile, between the Sahara, England, and the rest of Europe serves as a stark reminder of the global interconnectedness of our environment. This might seem like a minor inconvenience, but the creeping desertification poses a grave danger. Imagine Europe slowly transforming into an arid wasteland, its fertile soils rendered barren, unable to sustain life. Soil, often overlooked, is as vital to human survival as clean water and breathable air. Without it, we face a desolate and unforgiving future. The Sahara's relentless expansion has already seen it leap across the Mediterranean Sea, an alarming development with potentially irreversible consequences. A fifth of Spain has already succumbed to desertification. Italy is next in line, grappling with the same encroaching threat. Indeed, almost all European countries face this challenge. Experts warn that land unchanged for nearly 2 millennia may soon become barren rock, forcing populations to abandon their homes. The crisis extends far beyond Europe. In Moldova, a staggering 60% of the soil has vanished, and the problem has spread past the Black Sea, reaching as far as China and Mongolia, thousands of miles from the Sahara. The economic impact is devastating, with annual losses estimated at $4 billion. The threat is so critical that the United Nations has mobilized resources to tackle the issue head-on. Italy is actively involved in assisting African nations to combat the Sahara's expansion. If this encroachment continues unchecked for the next decade, millions will be displaced, forced to flee their homes. The Sahara is currently growing at a rate of approximately 30 miles per decade. Since 1920, the Sahara has expanded by an estimated 10%. However, there is hope. Over 172 countries have united to combat global desertification. The World Food Programme is spearheading projects aimed at restoring the once lush greenery of the Sahara. When the project was revealed to the people who call the Sahara home, they laughed in their faces and said it was impossible. But with a specific goal in mind, the impossible becomes possible. Imagine traveling back 5,000 years. We would find a thriving forest, teeming with life. Africa's climate has undergone dramatic shifts over the past 21,000 years, transforming from vibrant greenery to uninhabitable desert. This is linked to changes in Earth's rotation and the monsoon patterns that bring vital rainfall to this arid continent. But with the ingenuity of scientists and innovative techniques, we can reverse this trend and halt the Sahara's advance. The Senegal River marks the border between the Sahara Desert, Senegal, and Mauritania. Satellite images reveal the desert's relentless expansion into Senegal, driven by the scarcity of vegetation along the riverbanks. Forests act as a crucial barrier, preventing wind erosion and slowing desertification. A monumental effort is underway to create a Great Green Wall. The methods employed are truly remarkable. In areas where nothing has grown for over 40 years, forcing locals to seek new homes, restoration efforts are yielding incredible results. People are overjoyed to see their land rejuvenated. They are dedicating themselves to working the soil and cultivating food. Over 30,000 hectares have already been restored, transforming barren landscapes into lush, green havens. The Sahel region is the epicenter of desertification, making it crucial to establish the green wall there first. The steps required to build this wall are deceptively simple. Imagine the sun beating down relentlessly. The ground is baked, hardened into a surface as unyielding as concrete. Picture pouring water on concrete. It doesn't soak in. It simply flows away. To combat this, an ingenious solution was devised: water-retaining half-moons. These crescent-shaped depressions are designed to capture and hold water, making it readily available for plant life. When you first encounter the concept of these half-moons, a question might arise. Why wasn't this thought of sooner? The truth is, this technique is far from new. It's an ancient method that was once practiced in the Sahel region, but sadly, it was lost to time. Now, it's being revived with incredible results. Here's how it works. When rain falls, the water is channeled into these half-moons, strategically positioned slightly lower than the surrounding ground, following the natural contours of the land. A raised bank at the edge of each half-moon prevents precious water from escaping. And in the heart of these half-moons, plants thrive, nourished by the abundant water supply. Crucially, the success of this system relies on cultivating native plants, species that are naturally adapted to the harsh conditions. Think of sorghum and millet, hardy grains that have survived in this region for millennia. These plants not only endure, but also produce a substantial amount of biomass, accelerating the rehabilitation of the land and providing sustenance for the people. The water that collects within the half-moons isn't simply lost to evaporation. It gradually permeates the ground, replenishing the underground water reserves. This ensures a sustainable supply of H2O, securing access to usable aqua for future generations. This brilliant planting technique isn't confined to half-moons alone. People are also creating contour lines, planting a diverse array of vegetables, such as tomatoes. And there are dedicated spaces for trees, lemon and orange trees, offering the promise of a refreshing reward after a long, scorching day, a glass of freshly made cold lemonade. These trees also play a vital role in protecting the soil. With luck and perseverance, these efforts will lead to the creation of a new forest in the heart of the Sahara Desert. The approach is to mimic the natural dynamics of a forest, starting with smaller plants and gradually introducing larger, more useful species. The ambitious goal is to plant more than 10,000 trees. Currently, after the rainy season, many people abandon the Sahara, seeking opportunities in cities or even leaving Africa altogether. Villages become like ghost towns, inhabited only by animals. It's hard to blame them. Life in the barren sand, where nothing seems to grow, is a constant struggle. However, with the resurgence of this ancient technology, a transformation is underway. Slowly but surely, people are returning to their land, embracing agriculture once more. The beauty of this region is the absence of brutal winters, allowing plants to grow year-round, ensuring a continuous supply of food. As people settle back into their villages, communities are strengthening. The constant migration in search of sustenance is diminishing. If this project proves successful, it could be a turning point for Africa, preventing the world from succumbing to desertification. Picture yourself in Africa, a land of unparalleled wildlife, a tapestry of diverse cultures and languages, and, most notably, the home of the Sahara, the world's largest hot desert. The sun blazes overhead, and you find yourself desperately seeking water and shade. You've been walking for days, hoping to reach one of those life-giving oases. You sense that you're close, but the horizon seems to endlessly recede. Your mind is weary, and your body is overwhelmed by the intense heat. It feels as though you've consumed a plateful of fiery peppers, and then some. The sweat pours from you, a testament to the extreme conditions. When we say hot, imagine temperatures soaring to an average of 100 grewers, 38 Croatus. It's no surprise, considering you're traversing the world's largest hot desert. It's important to clarify the distinction. While the Sahara reigns supreme as a hot desert, the largest desert landscapes overall are actually the cold deserts of Antarctica and the Arctic. Antarctica's frozen expanse is roughly equivalent to 1 million times the size of Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. The Arctic desert is slightly smaller. The Sahara Desert, located in northern Africa, stretches from the Atlantic Ocean to the Red Sea. Its vastness is such that you could fit approximately 100,000 Disney World theme parks within its boundaries, side by side. And according to the highest point, often the ceiling. Envision, if you will, directing your flashlight upwards and witnessing these small, pale cocoons, from which emerge pale arachnids boasting absurdly elongated legs. Should you ever find yourself in such a situation, the key is to remain calm. Retreat slowly and deliberately, putting as much distance as possible between yourself and these creatures. But beware. The flat scorpion is capable of squeezing beneath your clothing in the blink of an eye, delivering a painful bite to your abdomen. But fear not, for this is merely a jest. This rather handsome creature is, in reality, one of the most timid and utterly harmless members of the scorpion and spider families. It fears you far more than you should fear it, and it will never initiate an attack. Many people even consider them to be beautiful and keep them as pets in glass terrariums. If you decide to adopt one of these fascinating creatures, exercise extreme caution to prevent its escape. Should it manage to slip out of its enclosure, recapturing it will prove to be a significant challenge. In mere moments, it can vanish beneath your bed or slip through the cracks in the floorboards. From there, it might make its way into your neighbor's apartment through the ventilation system, causing quite a fright to the unsuspecting residents. Now, how about we take a look at another scorpion? This one might not be as outwardly creepy as some of the other creatures we've discussed, but it holds the distinction of being the most venomous scorpion found in the United States, the Arizona bark scorpion, Centruroides sculpturatus. The troubling aspect of this species is its adaptability. You might encounter it in the arid desert, within the confines of your home, or lurking in your backyard. These venomous pests frequently invade homes, and their stings are a common occurrence. A single sting is enough to cause intense pain, comparable to that of a bee sting. However, individuals with allergies may experience paralysis, breathing difficulties, and a host of other serious health complications. A comfortable dwelling with breathtaking views of the Mediterranean Sea, the perfect storm shelter. This is what a real estate advertisement might have sounded like to Neanderthals some 100,000 years ago. Welcome to the strange and wonderful caves they could call home, or not. Of course, back in those days, concepts like real estate and advertising were still a distant dream. And let's not forget that Neanderthals didn't exactly build houses. They often sought shelter in natural caves. One such cave bears a striking resemblance to a modern residential complex. It's nestled within a towering limestone formation known as the Rock of Gibraltar. If Neanderthals had possessed an economy, the caves within this rock would undoubtedly have commanded exorbitant prices. Navigators stumbled upon this site in 1907, spotting a massive opening in the fortified rock face. For years, scientists have meticulously studied this location, uncovering numerous traces of Neanderthal occupation. They unearthed ancient tools and the fossilized bones of prehistoric animals. But perhaps the most remarkable discovery was the presence of 4 distinct caves within the rock, forming a veritable residential complex. Neanderthals coexisted as neighbors, collaborating on hunting and fishing expeditions. They adorned themselves with feather decorations and created abstract paintings on the cave walls. Imagine our ancient ancestors congregating in these caves 100,000 years ago. Now, fast forward to the present, and scientists are the ones occupying these spaces, meticulously studying the primeval past of Neanderthals. In late 2021, archaeologists made a groundbreaking discovery within one of the caves, a narrow passage leading to a previously unknown tunnel. They cautiously crawled through this opening, revealing a new chamber concealed beneath the cave's roof. This space had remained sealed off from the outside world for over 40,000 years, and it appeared to have been one of the most desirable apartments within the entire mountain complex. It boasted soaring ceilings adorned with ancient stalactites. Crumbling stone formations acted as natural dividers, creating distinct rooms within the space. Researchers also found the remains of ancient animals and curious scratches etched into the walls. It seems that Neanderthals visited this place, but never lived. Archaeologists found the shell of a sea snail called dog whelk. One of the Neanderthals brought it here for some reason. The primary occupants, however, were hyenas. These caves provide compelling evidence that Neanderthals were far more akin to humans than to apes. They possessed a distinct way of life and even adhered to certain customs. There's still much work to be done, and scientists remain hopeful that they will uncover even more hidden chambers within this remarkable rock formation. Meanwhile, back in 2003, archaeologists unearthed another early human dwelling on the island of Flores in Indonesia. Deep within the verdant jungle, they found Imagine stumbling upon a hidden cave, a place initially believed to be a dwelling of our human ancestors. But the secrets held within go far beyond that. Scientists soon unearthed an extraordinary skeleton, an adult unlike any they had ever encountered. Detailed analysis revealed it belonged to a woman, approximately 30 years old, but standing only 3.5 feet tall, barely reaching the waist of an average adult. She weighed about as much as a modern-day shepherd dog. This was no Neanderthal, nor an Australopithecus. This was something entirely new, a previously unknown species that scientists christened Homo floresiensis, or more simply, the Hobbit. And that's not all. The cave also contained the remains of bizarre ancient creatures, elephants the size of cows, enormous storks, and rats of truly gigantic proportions. Further investigation revealed that the hobbits weren't necessarily the top dogs in this ecosystem. The primary inhabitants? Those cat-sized rats. Perhaps fierce battles were waged between these tiny humans and oversized rodents. Some analyses even suggest that Homo floresiensis wasn't a direct ancestor of ours, but rather an evolutionary offshoot, a separate branch on the tree of life. In fact, the hobbit skeleton bears a striking resemblance to that of a monkey, more so than to modern Homo sapiens. Now, let's journey to the dense jungles of Vietnam, where in 2009, archaeologists made an astonishing discovery. Son Doong, the largest cave in the world. Imagine standing inside this colossal cavern. Shout, and your echo will reverberate for what seems like an eternity. In some sections, the cave's height reaches half the height of the Empire State Building, and its total area surpasses an entire city block in New York. Son Doong is just one part of a network of caves hidden within the Vietnamese jungle, connected by a series of intricate mazes. Inside, a unique ecosystem thrives, with plants and trees that have evolved in isolation from the outside world, a true underground jungle. In places, the ceilings have collapsed, allowing sunlight to stream in, nourishing this hidden world. Ancient stalactites hang like frozen waterfalls, some limestone deposits dating back over 450 million years. They were here long before the first dinosaurs roamed the earth. Rivers flow through the cave, carved by rainwater cascading through openings in the ceiling, creating natural water slides that disappear into unexplored labyrinths. To this day, scientists have only scratched the surface of this subterranean realm. Our journey continues to New Zealand, to another extraordinary cave home to hundreds of thousands of glowworms. Each tiny creature emits a mesmerizing blue light, illuminating the cave in an ethereal glow. It's like stepping onto another planet. But you can't linger too long. Special air monitoring devices are everywhere, constantly measuring carbon dioxide levels. These insects are incredibly sensitive to their environment, and if the cave becomes too crowded or visitors stay too long, park staff will ask them to leave. It's as if you're stealing the very air the fireflies need to survive. We've seen some truly amazing caves, but now, prepare yourself for something a little more unsettling. We're heading to the desert of Yemen's Al-Mahra province. Our destination isn't exactly a cave, but rather a massive black hole in the ground, right in the heart of the desert. It's enormous, about the size of a basketball court. But it's not the size that's frightening, it's what lies within. Scientists remain uncertain about what lurks in the depths of this abyss. A nauseating stench, like rotten eggs, constantly emanates from the hole, and sometimes strange, chilling sounds can be heard. The blackness of this Yemeni sinkhole seems to absorb all sunlight, making it impossible to see what's inside, even with the most powerful flashlight. Helicopters have flown over it, equipped with drones and high-resolution cameras, but all they've captured is impenetrable darkness, a vast ink blot on the golden sand. Local people avoid the place at all costs, believing it to be a gateway to another dimension, a realm inhabited by malevolent beings. The giant hole in Yemen, to scientific observations, the Sahara's boundaries are expanding. Deserts typically form in subtropical regions due to a phenomenon known as Hadley circulation. Air rises at the equator and descends in the subtropics. This atmospheric circulation has a drying effect, which promotes the formation of arid landscapes. Since the 1920s, the Sahara is estimated to have expanded by more than 10%. But how is this happening? Let's delve into the factors at play, starting from the beginning. You probably know the Sahara Desert as one of the most brutally unforgiving environments on our planet. To even qualify as a desert, a region must receive less than 4 inches of rainfall annually. This meager precipitation results in extreme dryness and aridity. The air holds practically no humidity, and daytime temperatures can soar to a blistering 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Typically, such conditions support very little plant or animal life. But the Sahara wasn't always this way. It may be hard to believe as you gaze across endless dunes, but about 20,000 years ago, this desert was a vast green oasis. Recent discoveries offer compelling evidence of what scientists now call the Green Sahara. Imagine this. In the mid-1800s, a German explorer ventured deep into the Sahara. There he stumbled upon paintings and engravings left by nomadic artists. What he saw defied the reality around him. Instead of a barren landscape dotted with camels and sparse desert scrub, the rock paintings depicted jungle animals like giraffes and hippos. There were even images of livestock and grazing animals such as cattle and sheep, a scene utterly impossible in the Sahara we know today. Artists tend to draw what they observe, so this discovery deeply intrigued the German explorer. The drawings were incredibly detailed, suggesting the artists had close, intimate contact with these animals. This rock art is scattered across the northern reaches of the African continent, stretching from Western Sahara to Saudi Arabia. Geologists quickly recognized the significance of these findings and began searching for clues. They confirmed that North Africa was once significantly wetter. Evidence came from deep-sea sediment off the coast of Mauritania. By examining cores of underwater sand and mud, known as Saharan dust flux, geologists pieced together the story of a green Sahara. The amount of dust blowing from the desert into the ocean depths is directly related to the climate's dryness. The sediment cores revealed that during the humid period, dust levels were dramatically lower, only about half of what they are today. This period correlates with Earth's natural cycles. Our planet rotates on a tilt, normally around 23.5 degrees. But this angle isn't constant, it shifts over time. Earth's tilt dictates how much sunlight each hemisphere receives, which in turn influences numerous ecosystem functions. During the Green Sahara era, the northern hemisphere received between 4% and 8% more sunlight than it does now. Around 20,000 years ago, as the Earth tilted, the northern hemisphere basked in more direct sunlight. This surge of solar energy dramatically increased humidity levels. As the region warmed, it supercharged monsoon activity, specifically the West African monsoon. Monsoons are wind systems that profoundly affect a region's rainfall and humidity. As parts of the globe heat up, more air rises, drawing moisture into the atmosphere. Little by little, North Africa became wetter. This increased moisture transformed the Sahara. Water accumulated in natural basins, creating lakes so vast they could swallow all of the Great Lakes of the United States. Archaeologists have unearthed evidence of thriving societies in what are now desolate areas. Ancient cultures clearly flourished during the African humid period. Researchers believe the human population across the Sahara peaked around 9,000 years ago. The remnants of fireplaces, hunting tools, fish hooks, and even heaps of fish bones paint a picture of a vibrant, aquatic-based civilization. Records indicate that over the last 8 million years, there have been over 230 green periods. Solar radiation constantly fluctuates due to natural orbital cycles. This means Earth will almost certainly witness another Green Sahara moment. It might be thousands of years away, but it's inevitable. Just as the Sahara turns green, it inevitably turns yellow again. All it takes is a significant axial tilt and a few millennia of readjustment. However, another phenomenon is now capturing the attention of scientists. Recent studies by the National Sci. Venture with us now as new data surfaces from the National Science Foundation and the University of Maryland, revealing a stark reality. The Sahara Desert has expanded by approximately 10% in the last 90 years. This phenomenon, known as desertification, is a creeping threat, fertile lands transforming into arid wastelands right before our eyes. Imagine the Sahara relentlessly advancing into the Sahel, a semi-arid region. Back in 1950, this land sustained 31 million people. Today, it is home to over 100 million, a population boom that has significantly strained the land. Nomadic farmers, once moving with the seasons, began to settle, intensifying land use and weakening the very soil that sustained them. The relentless demand for food has led to overcropping, pushing more and more land into the desert's unforgiving embrace. The study also highlights that natural climate cycles play a crucial role, influencing rainfall patterns across the Sahara. Scientists emphasize that all deserts are dynamic, their boundaries shifting with the seasons. During dry winters, they may expand, only to contract during wetter summers. South of the Sahara lies the Chad Basin, a natural reservoir whose fate serves as a stark indicator of the desert's relentless expansion. Located directly in the path of the Sahara's southward march, the Chad Basin is under immense pressure. According to an atmospheric and ocean expert from the University of Maryland, rainfall has dramatically decreased throughout the region. Less rain means less water, and even Lake Chad itself is shrinking, a mirror image of the Sahara's growth. But the Sahara is not alone. The Atacama Desert in Chile, often called the driest place on Earth, is also growing. North of Santiago, its southern border is creeping towards the Chilean capital as the climate becomes increasingly arid. Santiago itself is transforming into a semi-arid region. Picture this. Once fertile valleys, nourished by local rivers, sustained generations through agriculture and livestock. Now, they are losing their lifeblood as Chilean land succumbs to desertification. Since 2010, Santiago has received only a third of its average annual rainfall. Desperate farmers are digging deeper, searching for blue gold, water, a scene eerily similar to the struggles in the Sahel. The desert's embrace is harsh, marked by abandoned landscapes and extreme temperatures. But even in these challenging environments, humanity finds a way. Enter the world of Earthships. Located in a New Mexico desert town, these astonishing structures are home to a community of like-minded individuals. Remarkably, this location is officially registered as a dumpster, perhaps because these homes are ingeniously constructed from recycled materials, old tires, bottles, and cans. Earthships are built using green building principles. Approximately 40% of each structure is composed of natural or recycled materials. Imagine walls packed with hundreds of used tires, filled with dirt for insulation and stability. Floor-to-ceiling passive solar windows capture sunlight during the winter and reflect it during the summer, maintaining comfortable temperatures year-round. Embedded within the walls, you might spot plants, glass bottles, or aluminum cans, a truly unique and sustainable design. Mike Reynolds, an architect, recognized the alarming levels of waste and consumption in the 1970s. He designed a fully sustainable home using cans, and nearly 40 years later, he continues to unite Earthship builders. Reynolds himself even drove a Mercedes, powered by vegetable oil collected from local fast food restaurants. A standard 2-bedroom, 2-bath Earthship in this town costs around $250,000. However, some Earthships, like the Dobson House, can reach $1.5 million. Building it yourself with the help of family and friends can significantly reduce costs by eliminating labor expenses. Where can you build an Earthship? Almost anywhere. They thrive in the cold, dry climate of Canada and the hot, humid conditions of Haiti. Behold the Mirage Mirror House, an art installation set in the South. Imagine a shimmering vision rising from the scorched earth of the Southern California desert. It's the Desert Mirage, an art installation that opened its mirrored doors in 2017 as part of a contemporary exhibition. This minimalist structure, devoid of conventional doors and windows, becomes one with its arid surroundings. The landscape itself is reflected back upon itself, creating an ethereal, almost dreamlike experience. How is this achieved? Through carefully angled mirrored surfaces. At night, the distant lights of civilization are fractured and refracted, creating a dazzling display. During the day, the sky above transforms into an ever-shifting, was one of the wealthiest cities in the Western Hemisphere. Port Royal was a vital hub of the British Empire, a bustling trade city that drew people from across the globe. It was also a haven for real-life pirates of the Caribbean. On the morning of June 7, 1692, the residents of Port Royal faced a fate far different than they anticipated. The bars and restaurants, usually brimming with life, were shaken awake by a massive earthquake, estimated to be a 7.5 on the Richter scale. One survivor recounted seeing the earth open up and swallow the town hall. His account may well be true, as the city was largely built on sand. The ground seemed to devour buildings, roads, and people. Geysers erupted from the earth, and finally, colossal waves, as tall as 10-story buildings, crashed into the city. Approximately 33 acres of Port Royal vanished beneath the waves, and remarkably, much of its 17th-century remains lie remarkably well preserved under just 40 feet of water. The ruins await exploration. Imagine stepping back in time, exploring lost worlds swallowed by the sea. Our journey takes us first to a submerged marvel, where, amidst the ruins, we see remnants of ancient life. Taverns where long-lost voices once echoed, storage rooms filled with forgotten treasures, kitchens where ancient meals were prepared, and recreational buildings that once buzzed with activity. Before us stands a grand lion statue, a silent sentinel guarding the past. A submerged bridge hints at roads, now claimed by the ocean, and picturesque arches frame scenes of a bygone era. Now, let's venture further east, to the coast of India. Here, just offshore, lies another enigma. The lost city of Cambay. Hidden beneath the waves in the Gulf of Cambay, this city remained a secret until 2001. It was then, during a routine water assessment, that the National Institute of Ocean Technology deployed sonar, a technology that sends sound waves echoing to the seabed. What they discovered was astounding. Far below the surface, images began to form, revealing well-defined geometric shapes stretching across an area of 5 miles. The recovered remains have been dated to over 9,500 years ago. Imagine that, a civilization lost at the tail end of the Ice Age. Debris from the site includes construction materials, fragments of pottery, ancient beads, weathered sculptures, and even fossilized bones. A debate rages among scientists. Do these artifacts truly belong to the city of Cambay? If they do, this underwater metropolis could rewrite history as the oldest civilization ever known. The sun beats down relentlessly, turning up the heat like never before. We feel the intensity, like marshmallows roasting on a sizzling grill. But humans have always battled the heat, and even in ancient times, ingenious inventions offered respite. Some of these solutions continue to function even after 3,000 years. So, grab a cool drink, and let's explore the methods our ancestors devised to beat the heat. Speaking of ice, did you know that the Persians, in the heart of the desert, mastered the art of ice storage? They conceived an out-of-the-box idea to prevent their food from spoiling in the scorching heat. These resourceful Persians stumbled upon a physics trick that allowed them to create ice in the middle of the desert. They called these remarkable structures yakhchal, which translates to ice pit. These were no ordinary coolers. They were like secret subterranean refrigerators. Imagine dome-shaped mud brick structures rising from the desert floor. Inside, however, was a completely different world. These ice pits utilized an evaporation cooling system that worked like magic. At night, as the desert air cooled, the Persians harnessed the power of radiative cooling. They created cleverly designed trenches to hold thin layers of water, which froze despite the desert heat. Below ground, square storage areas awaited. The Persians collected the melting ice water from these cool trenches, freezing it again during the night, maximizing the desert's natural chill. To enhance the cooling effect, they constructed walls to shade the storage areas from the intense midday sun. And that's not all. They utilized a fantastic wind-catching device called a bad gear that funneled breezes directly into the ice pits. Fresh air combined with ice created a winning combination. Intricate water channels, known as qanats, transported water from the distant mountains to the ice pits and homes. As time marched on, these yakhchals gradually faded into history as modern technology took over. But there's good news. Dedicated individuals in Iran are now restoring these ancient coolers. If you ever find yourself in the desert, be sure to visit these incredible structures and witness the genius of the ancient Persians firsthand. Let's turn our attention to wind catchers, those ingenious devices that not only help make ice, but also function as cooling systems. Back in the day, these architectural marvels were incredibly popular in regions like Persia, modern-day Iran, Egypt, and throughout the Middle East. Picture tower-like structures with openings strategically placed at various levels to capture the power of the natural breeze. These openings acted like magical portals, capturing refreshing gusts of wind and directing them into people's living spaces. They were, in essence, natural air conditioners. The breeze would gracefully flow downward, cooling the ground as it moved through the building. The secret to their effectiveness lies in the details: the tower's height, the number of sides, and the precise positioning of the openings. The design of these openings, the precise angle of the interior blades, every detail is meticulously calculated to maximize the efficiency of these ancient wind towers. Thanks to these ingenious wind catchers, the societies of the past were able to enjoy comfortable indoor temperatures, a welcome relief from the oppressive heat. Imagine, if you will, life in those times, feeling the gentle caress of a cool breeze as it whispers through your home, leaving you feeling refreshed and invigorated. The Persians are often credited as the inventors of these incredible wind catchers, but let's not forget ancient Egypt. Traces of similar structures have been discovered there, dating back to as early as 1300 BCE. So, while the full invention may be debated, Yazd, in Iran, stands as the city with the greatest concentration of wind catchers. Without these ancient air conditioning systems, life in this region would have been virtually impossible due to the scarcity of rainfall throughout the year. Now, let's turn our attention to these perforated, double-skinned exteriors. Imagine adorning a building with an intricately patterned screen. It's like giving the exterior a stylish and functional makeover, all while maintaining a cool and comfortable interior. This brilliant technique serves multiple purposes. First, it scatters the harsh rays of natural daylight, preventing blinding glare. The screen also acts as a shade, providing the building's interior with much-needed respite from the intense heat of the sun. Think of it as a natural sun hat for your home. Positioning this screen approximately 4 feet away from the outer wall creates a breezy, almost dreamlike corridor, allowing for the free circulation of fresh air. And let's not forget the touch of elegance these structures add to the building's overall aesthetic. These structures are sometimes called jali. Jaipur, India, for example, experiences average daytime temperatures of around 100 degrees, 30 degrees C, making these jalis absolute lifesavers. Jalis are crafted from a variety of materials, including cement, earth, and wood, and they stand as a cultural symbol deeply embedded in Indian architecture. You can witness their captivating presence in iconic historical landmarks such as the majestic Taj Mahal and the Grand Red Fort in Delhi. But this isn't just a relic of the past. Jalis continue to thrive in modern architectural designs, and their timeless charm has ignited the creativity of artists and designers worldwide. Consider a building's exterior, adorned with an intricate pattern. The cross-section reveals a larger opening on the outside, gradually narrowing to a smaller opening on the inside. This is where the Venturi effect enters the stage, demonstrating its mastery of physics. As air rushes through the narrowing passage, its velocity increases, creating a pressure difference between the inside and outside of the building. The air, now moving at a higher speed, becomes compressed, and upon release, undergoes a cooling effect. The mashrabia, a wooden lattice or screen commonly found in the Middle East and North Africa, represents another ingenious solution. These decorative wonders are more than just aesthetically pleasing, they are incredibly functional. They provide privacy, shield from the sun's intense rays, and allow for the circulation of fresh air and light. Some designs even incorporate clay pots filled with water, sand, or damp straw. As hot air passes through the holes in the screen, it also flows across the porous surface of the pot. The moisture within evaporates, further cooling the air. This is a perfect low-cost technique for hot and arid climates, eco-friendly and requiring no electricity. Now, let's fast forward, of the wind. These weren't just buildings. They were living, breathing machines, perfectly adapted to their harsh environments. Let's journey back and witness the marvel of wind towers. Imagine these structures rising majestically, strategically positioned to capture every passing breeze. These openings acted like magical gateways, channeling refreshing gusts directly into living spaces, nature's own air conditioners. The breeze would gracefully descend, cooling the very ground as it danced through the building. The secret? It was all in the details. The tower's height, the number of sides, the size and placement of the openings, and even the positioning of interior blades. Each element played a crucial role in the wind tower's efficiency. Thanks to these wind catchers, ancient societies enjoyed comfortable indoor temperatures without breaking a sweat. Picture life in those times, feeling the gentle breeze whisking through your home, keeping you cool and refreshed. The Persians are often credited with inventing these wind catchers, also known as bad gears, but let's not forget Egypt. Traces of similar structures exist there, dating back to 10,300 BCE. While the invention may have occurred in ancient Egypt, Yazd in Iran boasts the largest concentration of wind catchers. Without them, life in this area, with its scarce rainfall, would have been nearly impossible. Now, let's turn our attention to perforated double-skinned exteriors. Imagine a building adorned with an intricate perforated screen, a stylish makeover that also keeps the interior cool. This brilliant technique diffuses natural daylight, eliminating harsh sunbeams. The screen also provides shade, offering the building's interior much-needed respite from the sun's intensity. Think of it as a natural sun hat for your home. Spacing this screen about 4 feet from the outer walls creates a breezy corridor, facilitating fresh air circulation. And, of course, these screens add a touch of elegance to the building's design. These structures are sometimes called jali. In Jaipur, India, where average daytime temperatures soar to around 100 degrees, these screens are lifesavers. Jolly come in various forms, crafted from cement, earth, and wood. They are a cultural symbol deeply embedded in Indian architecture. You can witness their captivating presence in iconic historical buildings like the majestic Taj Mahal and the Grand Red Fort in Delhi. But Jolly aren't just relics of the past. They continue to thrive in modern architecture, their charm inspiring artists and designers worldwide. Consider the design, a larger opening on the exterior and a smaller one on the interior. This is where the Venturi effect comes into play, showcasing the power of physics. As air flows through the narrowing passage, it accelerates, creating a pressure difference between the inside and outside of the building. Air moving at higher speeds compresses, and when released, it cools down. Then there's the mashrabiyah, a wooden lattice or screen used in the Middle East and North Africa. These decorative wonders are more than just pretty, they're intelligent design elements. They offer privacy, shade from the sun, and allow fresh air and light to enter. Some designs incorporate clay pots filled with water, sand, or damp straw. As hot air passes through the holes, it also moves across the pot's porous surface. The moisture inside evaporates, cooling the air, a perfect low-cost technique for hot, dry climates. It's eco-friendly and requires no electricity. Now, let's leap forward to the modern era. Designers are creatively blending traditional wisdom with modern technology. Take the Al Bar Towers in Abu Dhabi, for example. They feature over 2,000 hexagonal panels that move in response to the sun's position, providing shade to the building's interior. Water evaporation was another ancient secret weapon. Simple, yet incredibly effective. Ancient Egyptians hung wet mats and curtains in doorways. As air passed through them, it cooled, providing relief from the scorching sun. Ancient architects were masters of maximizing airflow. They understood how to create cross-ventilation, allowing hot air to escape while drawing in cooler air. Speaking of ancient ingenuity, let's not forget the bathhouses of ancient Rome. Imagine journeying back in time to the era of Roman grandeur. Picture the bustling heart of a Roman bathhouse. More than just a place for hygiene, it was a social epicenter. Here, citizens gathered to discuss the pressing matters of the day, engage in friendly competition through sports, and, of course, indulge in the soothing embrace of the waters. The frigidarium, a colossal pool of refreshing coolness, offered respite after the intense heat of the caldarium. After a steamy immersion, Romans would eagerly plunge into this icy expanse. Elsewhere, in regions like Cappadocia, Turkey, people ingeniously sought refuge from the scorching sun by burrowing into the earth. They sculpted entire dwellings within the volcanic rock, harnessing the planet's natural ability to cool. The lesson? Architects and designers possess the power to craft extraordinary structures by weaving together time-honored traditions and cutting-edge technologies. Consider Death Valley, California, a land of extremes, which holds the record for the highest officially recorded temperature on Earth, a staggering 134 degrees Fahrenheit, measured in 1913. Meanwhile, Africa's most blistering temperature reached 131 degrees Fahrenheit in Kabylie, Tunisia, back in 1931. Europe's highest recorded temperature nearly hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit in Sicily during the sweltering August of 2021, and in 2022, the United Kingdom experienced its hottest summer in recorded history. Now, let's journey to the tropical lowlands of what is now northern Guatemala, where researchers have unearthed nearly 1,000 previously unknown Maya settlements. This incredible discovery was made possible by LiDAR, light detection and ranging technology, which uses lasers to scan vast areas from the air. The region in question spans a colossal 650 square miles, revealing a sprawling network of structures and buildings. These sites, believed to have been inhabited thousands of years ago, showcase a remarkable density of settlement. Archaeologists have identified the boundaries of at least 417 ancient villages, towns, and cities. These structures formed part of what appears to have been a complex kingdom. Among the discoveries are sports courts, civic and ceremonial centers, religious sites, and residential homes. Massive palaces, platforms, dams, pyramids, and causeways crisscross the landscape. The inhabitants even constructed reservoirs to collect precious water. To build such a civilization required immense organizational prowess. Thousands of specialists and laborers would have been needed, along with skilled architects, lime producers, mortar specialists, quarry workers, and lithic technicians. Legal enforcement and other crucial roles were also essential to maintaining this thriving community. The LiDAR system used to explore this region is truly remarkable. Its lasers can penetrate even the densest ecosystems and vegetation. By measuring the time it takes for light pulses to return to a receiver, the system creates a detailed, digitally reconstructed map of the terrain, revealing even subtle features hidden beneath the jungle canopy. This technology also revealed the presence of lowlands suitable for agriculture. But why did the Maya choose to settle in this challenging environment? Building such an impressive kingdom in a tropical rainforest climate was no easy feat. Historically, ancient civilizations tended to flourish in drier climates, where water resources formed the basis of society. The great city of Teotihuacan in highland Mexico is a prime example. While the Maya did have navigable rivers for transport and trade, the rainforest offered its own unique advantages. The Maya harnessed the region's natural resources, including limestone, their primary building material, salt, and obsidian, a volcanic rock used for crafting tools. They also managed to find enough dry land amidst the seasonal swamps, known as bajos. These bajos, with their fertile soil, proved ideal for agriculture. The Maya were skilled engineers, constructing settlements that could withstand the challenges of the rainy season. Their architecture provides evidence of a centralized kingdom, a society that persevered through floods, droughts, and other hardships. The Mayan Empire reached its zenith around the 6th century CE. They excelled in pottery, agriculture, writing, mathematics, and the creation of intricate calendar systems. They developed complex calendrical systems, such as the calendar round, based on a 365-day cycle. The Mayan calendar, with its intricate system, led some to believe that December 21st, 2012, would mark the end of days. In reality, it merely coincided with the conclusion of a significant cycle, a long count spanning 5,125 years. Imagine the world of the Maya, a civilization that bequeathed to us breathtaking architecture and symbolic artistry. Yet by 900 CE, their magnificent stone cities were largely abandoned, shrouded in mystery. Why did this once great civilization crumble? Various theories attempt to unravel this enigma. Some posit that by the 9th, transformed into minuscule diamonds. Unbeknownst to the town's builders, they were constructing their homes with walls containing precious stones. Because the diamonds were so small, the locals never paid much attention to the unusual sparkle of the town walls in the sunlight. Today, they proudly proclaim that their town is built from diamonds that fell from the heavens. Our next destination is back in the UK, but this time, the rocks are of terrestrial origin. We're heading to the enigmatic Stonehenge. This world-famous archaeological site, with its carefully arranged circles of stones, has captivated imaginations for centuries. While its purpose remains shrouded in mystery, another even more massive stone structure has been discovered just 2 miles away. Known as Superhenge, this monument is larger, heavier, and occupies a greater area than its more famous neighbor. Each stone slab here measures 15 feet in length, roughly the height of a 2-story building. Once, these colossal stones stood upright, forming a massive semicircle. But approximately 4,500 years ago, they were deliberately toppled. Perhaps it was an ancient act of vandalism? The true reason remains a mystery, which is why Superhenge remained undetected for so long. Scientists are still working to unlock its secrets. Imagine standing before a mystery as profound as Stonehenge, but on an even grander scale. Superhenge, as it's known, hints at a colossal monument, its standing stones whispering tales of a forgotten age. But let's journey further south, to the heart of Costa Rica. Here, scattered across the landscape, lie enigmatic stone spheres. Some are massive, dwarfing a human in size, while others resemble perfectly round bowling balls. These aren't natural formations. These are relics of a lost civilization. Envision the painstaking effort required to craft these spheres. Years, perhaps decades, spent polishing volcanic rock with primitive stone tools to achieve such flawless roundness. These stones, incredibly heavy, possess an uncanny ability to roll with ease, like oversized basketballs. What primal imperative drove the ancients to create these spheres? The rocks themselves whisper of different eras, some dating back 2,500 years. Most are composed of solidified volcanic magma, a testament to the Earth's fiery heart. Yet, their purpose remains shrouded in mystery. Discovered near major population centers in Costa Rica, one theory suggests they were erected to proclaim the power and glory of local kings. Imagine these colossal spheres as symbols of dominion, radiating authority across the ancient landscape. Other scholars propose an astronomical function, believing these stones served as tools for charting the heavens. Perhaps these served as primitive observatories, aligning with celestial events and guiding the rhythms of ancient life. The knowledge, however, vanished with the civilization that created them, leaving behind only these silent, spherical sentinels. The story of the stones was lost, swallowed by the relentless march of time. Now let's embark on one final adventure, a journey to the arid landscapes of Peru. Picture yourself trekking across the desert, ascending a low, sun-baked hill. As you crest the summit and gaze down, a breathtaking sight unfolds. The hillside is etched with strange, deliberate lines. As you move back, the lines coalesce, resolving into a colossal figure, a giant cat sprawled across the earth. This is a geoglyph, a massive artwork etched into the very fabric of the land. Its length stretches approximately 120 feet, roughly half the span of a modern Boeing jetliner. Discovered as recently as 2020, this feline giant dates back to somewhere between 200 and 100 BCE. This isn't an isolated image. The giant cat is part of a larger, more enigmatic collection of geoglyphs. Across the Peruvian desert, archaeologists have unearthed a menagerie of animals, plants, and fantastical figures, each a testament to the artistic vision of a forgotten people. The giant cat itself was found almost by accident. For centuries, it lay hidden in plain sight, its delicate lines obscured by the relentless forces of erosion. The desert winds, the shifting sands, slowly erased the silhouette, concealing it from the modern world until chance and keen observation brought it back to light. Imagine the surprise of the archaeologists when they realized they were standing before a monumental work of ancient art, hidden in plain sight for millennia, the Sahel. Scientists emphasize that all deserts are dynamic entities, with their boundaries expanding during dry periods and contracting during wetter ones. South of the Sahara lies the Chad Basin, a natural body of water that now serves as a stark indicator of the Sahara's relentless expansion. This basin is located within the very region where the Sahara is aggressively advancing southward. An atmospheric and ocean expert from the University of Maryland explains that rainfall has drastically diminished across the entire region. As a result, water levels have plummeted throughout the basin, and even Lake Chad is shrinking at an alarming rate. Similarly, the Atacama Desert in Chile, often dubbed the world's driest, is also expanding its reach. Located north of Santiago, its southern border is relentlessly advancing towards the Chilean capital as the climate becomes increasingly arid. Santiago itself risks transforming into an arid or semi-arid region. The once fertile valleys, sustained by local rivers that have supported agriculture and livestock for generations, are now witnessing dwindling revenues as Chilean land succumbs to desertification. The drought has worsened since 2010. Imagine Santiago, a major city, receiving only a third of its usual annual rainfall outside of the city limits. Farmers, desperate for water, are digging deep, searching for that precious blue gold that will save their crops. The situation mirrors the challenges faced in the Sahel region. Now, were you as astonished as I was to discover what has been unfolding in the Sahara? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Picture this. You're all set. Beige parka? Check. Chisel safely packed? Check. Overnight flight to Saudi Arabia? Booked? Absolutely. But hold on. Before you start dreaming of starring in a Dune remake, let's clarify. You're embarking on a thrilling expedition to explore the world's largest desert regions, hoping to unearth the prehistoric secrets of our ancestors. Let's get one thing straight. If you ever thought deserts were empty wastelands, think again. Sure, they might stretch out endlessly, seemingly nothing but sand. But beneath that surface lies a treasure trove of history. Remember, long before humans settled into cities and towns, we were nomadic, constantly on the move, searching for food, water, and shelter. This meant we had to develop ingenious survival strategies. Take, for instance, this intriguing find in the Saudi Arabian desert. Any idea what it could be? For years, scientists have debated the origins and purpose of these massive structures. It turns out our Neolithic ancestors were far more resourceful than we often give them credit for. They weren't just huddled around fires, chipping away at stones to make weapons. They were also honing their architectural skills. These enormous stone structures are known as desert kites. Viewed from above, they resemble kites soaring in the sky. Archaeologists generally agree that these kites served as elaborate traps used to lure animals. This made it easier for our ancestors to secure their food supply for the week. But there's more. Look closely at these monolithic structures. They reveal that our ancestors likely sketched out blueprints on rocks, planning their constructions before building them on the ground. Just like modern architects meticulously draft plans, these prehistoric builders mapped out their desert kites, which could stretch for miles. The most astonishing aspect: these kites predate even Stonehenge, dating back 7,000 to 9,000 years ago. Over the past decade, scientists have identified more than 6,000 desert kites scattered across the Middle East, West Asia, and Central Asia. If you think building something of this scale is easy, try doing it without drones or modern machinery. And apparently, the Saudi Arabian desert holds even more surprises. Scientists have discovered mysterious stone structures that are even older than the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. Naturally, you're eager to investigate, aren't you? Let's face it, the idea of hauling massive stones to build a pyramid without modern technology seems almost ludicrous. How on earth did they manage it? Now, imagine turning back the clock roughly 2,000 years and stumbling upon humans constructing similar colossal structures in remote areas. Behold the so-called mustatils. These are rectangular structures fashioned from piled-up stones scattered across an area of over 77,000 square miles. Some archaeologists theorize that these monuments served ritualistic purposes, perhaps for processions where people would walk from one end of the plateau to the other. Now, let's journey to another iconic desert, the Sahara. Welcome to the world-famous Sahara Desert. Isn't the landscape breathtaking? Here, we're about to unravel an ancient mystery, one that took researchers years to solve. Fun fact: the Sahara Desert is the world's largest hot desert, spanning over 3 million square miles. That's like placing 1,000 Hawaiis side by side. We emphasize hot desert because the actual largest desert on Earth is Antarctica. But as we all know, temperatures there are far from the typical scorching image we associate with deserts. Deep within the Sahara, near the Algerian town of Ouargla, something peculiar was discovered. For decades, tiny dots had appeared on Google Earth images, but no one could quite let's delve into a few mysteries hidden beneath the sands. Some experts believed these circles were linked to subterranean oil deposits. Others speculated that these were ancient fogaras, or water wells, remnants of a forgotten era. Dozens of these enigmatic formations stretch across the landscape, aligned in remarkably straight lines for miles upon miles. The real puzzle: their location. They're consistently found far from any town, road, or sign of human habitation. So, what purpose did they serve? What could they be? Imagine yourself as a nomadic hunter-gatherer, eking out a living in this harsh desert environment. The sun beats down relentlessly as you scan the endless dunes. Survival hinges on finding sustenance, and water is life. You can't rely on stumbling upon an oasis every week. That's far too risky. The people of North Africa devised a solution millennia ago: the fogara. These ingenious irrigation systems, dating back 2,500 years, involved digging deep wells in elevated areas, tapping into hidden aquifers. Parallel shafts were then excavated at regular intervals, allowing water to flow from the main well and irrigate the surrounding land. Travelers could quench their thirst, raise livestock, and cultivate crops. But while these desert holes might superficially resemble saharas, closer examination reveals key differences. Saharas are constructed in a linear fashion, not in a circular pattern like the formations we're investigating. So, perhaps the oil theory holds more weight. Let's take a closer look at these mysterious circles using satellite imagery. From above, they may not appear particularly large. Yet, on the ground, they reveal themselves as substantial craters. The clue to their origin lies buried beneath the sand. Imagine being one of the original researchers tasked with unraveling this mystery. What would you find? Scattered amongst the dunes are old dynamite sticks and vintage sardine cans. Piecing together these fragments, scientists discovered that the sardine cans were a model popular in the 1950s and 60s. It appears that survey teams from that era camped in these remote locations while prospecting for oil. And the dynamite? That was used for seismic surveying, a technique employed to detect the presence of oil and gas beneath the Earth's surface. Venturing further into North Africa, near the city of Tiaret, southwest of Algiers, we encounter another desert enigma. 13 peculiar monuments. These structures are often referred to as jars, though they bear no relation to the Star Wars reference. These pyramid-like formations are believed to have served as final resting places for the region's inhabitants. Who were these people? Most likely Berber nomads. These structures likely date back to between the 4th and 7th centuries CE. Exploration of these jars reveals their intricate interiors. Large underground vaults, chambers, and labyrinthine corridors give way to over 20 compartments. Navigating these complexes could take upwards of 2 hours. Our ancestors also adorned the walls with depictions of animals and hunting scenes. While the precise purpose of these jars remains shrouded in mystery, their existence speaks to the rich history hidden beneath the desert sands. Our world's deserts hold countless secrets waiting to be uncovered. Who knows what other mysteries lie buried beneath the shifting dunes? Picture this. Under the scorching sun, amidst the endless sand dunes of the Sahara, you're on a quest for ancient treasure. Finally, you stumble upon a peculiar rock half buried in the sand. It's large, resembling a chunk of black coal, but with an unusual shiny surface. This extraordinary find is the oldest object ever discovered on our planet. This rock predates Earth itself, originating from the vast expanse of outer space. This extraordinary meteorite was unearthed in 2020 in a remote and desolate region. Imagine traveling to these years. Fun fact, the Sahara isn't just any desert, it's the largest hot desert on our planet, sprawling over a staggering 3 million square miles. To put that in perspective, imagine squeezing 1,000 countries the size of Hawaii side by side. Of course, the largest desert on Earth is actually Antarctica, but its icy temperatures hardly conjure the typical desert image. Deep within the Sahara, near the Algerian town of Fogue Edwa, something peculiar was discovered. For decades, tiny dots had appeared on satellite images from Google Earth, defying explanation. Some scientists posited that these circles were linked to oil exploration in the region. Others theorized they were ancient fogaras or water wells. Dozens of these mysterious formations stretch for miles in a perfectly straight line. The true mystery? Their remote location, far removed from any town, road, or signs of human activity. What was or is their purpose? If you had to venture a guess, what would it be? Let's reflect on the ingenuity of our ancestors, who had to innovate to survive in harsh desert environments. Imagine you're a nomadic hunter-gatherer, eking out a living in this arid expanse. Days are spent under the scorching sun, counting grains of sand, but the fundamental needs remain. Food and, crucially, water. How does one secure water in such a desolate place? Relying on the chance discovery of an oasis every few weeks seems like a risky gamble. This is precisely why North African people developed the saharas, a 2,500-year-old irrigation marvel. Locals would excavate deep wells in elevated areas, reaching far enough to tap into precious underground water sources. Then, they would dig parallel shafts at regular intervals. This ingenious system allowed water to flow from the main well, irrigating entire areas. Weary travelers could quench their thirst at these shafts, water their livestock, and cultivate crops. Ingenious, wouldn't you say? But despite their resemblance, a closer inspection reveals these desert holes are not fagaras. The key difference? Fagaras are built in a circular pattern, while these formations are arranged in a straight line. Perhaps then, the initial theory holds weight. Could they be connected to oil exploration? Let's examine these holes up close, courtesy of Google Earth. They might appear small from above, but in reality, these are massive craters. The key to unlocking their secret lies buried beneath the sand. Imagine you're one of the researchers on this case. As you sift through the sand, you unearth something unexpected. Discarded dynamite and vintage sardine cans. Piecing together the evidence, scientists determined the sardine cans dated back to the 1950s and 1960s. It appears entire teams camped in this desolate region, surveying the area for potential oil deposits. And the dynamite? This was used for seismic surveying, an age-old technique to identify oil and gas reserves hidden beneath the Earth's surface. Our exploration continues in North Africa, where another desert mystery awaits near the city of Tiet, southwest of Algeria's capital. Now, let's turn our gaze towards some truly peculiar monuments scattered across this ancient landscape. These structures, often referred to as jars, might evoke images of a certain science fiction saga, but their reality is far more grounded in history. Imagine pyramid-like formations built by human hands for a solemn purpose. As far as researchers have determined, these monumental jars served as the final resting places for the people who once called this region home. Who were these people? Most likely they were the Berber nomads, wandering tribes who traversed this land centuries ago. These structures likely arose between the 4th and 7th centuries CE. When scientists finally ventured inside these ancient monuments, they discovered a hidden world. Vast underground vaults, intricate chambers, and labyrinthine corridors unfolded before them, revealing over 20 distinct compartments. Imagine spending hours navigating these passages, retracing the steps of those who came before. And there, etched upon the walls, were images, depictions of animals and scenes of the hunt, a glimpse into the lives and beliefs of these ancient people. While the precise purpose of these jars remains shrouded in mystery, their existence speaks volumes about the ingenuity and culture of those who built them. The world's deserts surely hold countless more secrets, waiting to be unearthed and understood. But the desert itself is a formidable force. The Sahara, a colossal expanse, blankets approximately 8% of the Earth's land surface. To put that in perspective, it dwarfs even the United States or China in size. While it may not be the largest desert on our planet, Antarctica and the Arctic claim those titles, it reigns supreme as the hottest. Temperatures here can soar to a blistering 136 degrees Fahrenheit. Picture landscapes dominated by towering sand dunes, some reaching an astonishing height of nearly 1,500 feet. But this beauty hides a potential catastrophe. The relentless march of these dunes threatens to engulf the world. The influence of the Sahara extends far beyond its immediate boundaries. Carried by powerful winds, desert dust travels thousands of miles, reaching the United Kingdom and spreading across the European continent, particularly during the winter months. The sight of this dust settling after rainfall, leaving a reddish film on cars and surfaces, has become commonplace in the UK. This connection between the Sahara, England, and the rest of Europe serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our world and the far-reaching consequences of environmental phenomena. But this is no mere inconvenience. The encroaching desert threatens to transform fertile lands into barren wastelands, jeopardizing agriculture and food supplies across Europe. Soil, the very foundation of human existence, is as vital as clean water and air. Without it, we face a bleak and desolate future. The Sahara has already crossed the Mediterranean Sea, a clear sign of its relentless advance. 1/5 of Spain has already succumbed to desertification, and Italy now faces a similar threat. In fact, almost all European countries are grappling with this growing problem. Experts warn that land unchanged for millennia could soon become barren rock, forcing populations to abandon their homes. The crisis extends far beyond Europe. Approximately 60% of the soil in Moldova is gone, and the problem has spread past the Black Sea, reaching as far as China and Mongolia. These losses amount to a staggering $4 billion annually. The threat is so significant that the United Nations has mobilized resources to address the problem urgently. Italy is actively assisting African nations in an effort to halt the Sahara's expansion. If these efforts fail within the next decade, millions could be displaced. The Sahara Desert expands at a rate of approximately 30 miles per decade. A simple calculation reveals the potential for widespread devastation across Europe. Since 1920, the desert has already grown by an estimated 10%. However, hope remains. More than 170 countries have united to combat desertification worldwide. The World Food Program is spearheading projects aimed at restoring once verdant lands within the Sahara. When these plans were presented to the inhabitants of the Sahara, they were met with skepticism and disbelief. But with unwavering determination, the impossible can become possible. Imagine traveling back 5,000 years. We would find ourselves in a lush forest, teeming with life and vegetation. The climate of Africa has undergone dramatic transformations over the past 21,000 years, shifting from vibrant greenery to uninhabitable desert. This shift is linked to the Earth's rotation. Imagine a world slowly drying up, a continent parched under an unrelenting sun. We're talking about Africa, where the Sahara Desert relentlessly pushes southward, threatening to engulf fertile lands. But there is hope on the horizon. Dedicated scientists and ingenious time-tested techniques are fighting back, aiming to restore greenery and halt the desert's advance. The Senegal River marks a crucial boundary, a line between life and the encroaching sands of the Sahara. Satellite images reveal a stark reality. The desert is expanding, swallowing Senegal bit by bit. The culprit? Vanishing vegetation along the riverbanks. Forests, you see, act as natural barriers, their roots anchoring the soil, their canopies shielding it from the wind's erosive force. Now, picture this. A massive undertaking, the creation of a great green wall. The methods are surprisingly simple, yet profoundly effective. In areas where nothing has grown for over 4 decades, communities have been displaced, forced to abandon their homes in search of sustenance. But the tide is turning. The restoration of these lands has ignited a spark of hope. People are returning, eager to learn the ancient secrets of working with the soil and coaxing life from the barren earth. Already, over 30,000 hectares have been transformed into verdant landscapes, a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. The Sahel region, the very birthplace of desertification, is the primary focus, the first line of defense in this battle against the sands. The secret? Half-moons. Simple crescent-shaped depressions in the ground. In this region, the sun bakes the earth into something akin to concrete. Pour water onto concrete, and it simply runs off, offering no nourishment. These half-moons, however, capture precious rainwater, holding it in place, allowing it to slowly seep into the soil. It's a technique that may seem obvious, yet it's a rediscovery of ancient wisdom, a practice once common in the Sahel, then forgotten by time. When the rains come, the water is channeled into these carefully positioned half-moons, nestled just below the contour lines. A small bank at the edge prevents overflow, ensuring that the life-giving moisture remains where it's needed most. And in the heart of each half-moon, life flourishes. Native plants, hardy species adapted to the harsh climate, such as sorghum and millet, are the heroes of this story. These plants have thrived here for millennia, their roots reaching deep, their resilience unmatched. They produce abundant biomass, enriching the soil and accelerating the rehabilitation process, providing food and sustenance for the returning communities. The water collected in these half-moons doesn't simply vanish. It penetrates the earth, replenishing underground aquifers. This ensures a sustainable water supply, a lifeline for future generations. This brilliant planting technique extends beyond half-moons. People are creating contour lines, planting a diverse array of vegetables, from tomatoes to life-giving trees. Imagine lemon and orange groves dotting the landscape. After a long day under the African sun, what could be more refreshing than a glass of ice-cold lemonade? These trees will also shield the soil, anchoring it against the wind. With luck and perseverance, a new forest will rise from the sands of the Sahara. The goal is to mimic the natural dynamics of a forest, starting with small plants and gradually introducing larger, more beneficial species. The aim is to plant over 10,000 trees, transforming the landscape and the lives of its people. For too long, the rainy season has signaled a mass exodus, villagers abandoning their homes, seeking refuge in cities, or even fleeing the continent altogether. Villages become ghost towns, inhabited only by animals. Who could blame them? Life in the desert is a constant struggle, a battle against the elements. But now, thanks to the revival of these ancient techniques, people are slowly returning to their ancestral lands, reclaiming their heritage, and embracing a future in agriculture. And the best part? There are no brutal winters to contend with. Plants grow year-round, providing a constant source of food and income. Communities are being rebuilt, social bonds strengthened. People are staying in their villages, investing in their future. If this project succeeds, Africa will be saved, and the world will be spared the relentless march of the desert. But even in these seemingly lifeless landscapes, life persists. Endless hot deserts may seem barren, but they harbor a surprising array of creatures, some dangerous, some downright creepy. Some pose a minor threat to health, while others leave an indelible mark on the mind. Let's delve into this hidden world, starting with the dangerous and ending with the stuff of nightmares. Imagine yourself walking through the desert, the sun beating down, when you spot a large, eight-legged creature scuttling across the sand. Imagine yourself wandering through the stark landscape. In the distance, something shimmers in the heat haze. At first glance, you might mistake it for a friendly bear, waving with open arms. You squint, thinking it's a bizarre mirage, but curiosity pulls you forward, step by agonizing step. As you draw closer, the illusion shatters. It's no cuddly toy, but a towering cactus, a bizarre and imposing monument to survival. Yet there's something undeniably peculiar about it. A strange, fuzzy coating adorns its branches, giving them the uncanny appearance of a teddy bear's outstretched limbs. But this isn't harmless fluff. Look closer. Those are thousands upon thousands of razor-thin needles, a bristling defense system that spells pain and trouble for any who dare to approach. This is the jumping cholla, sometimes called the teddy bear cholla. Cylindropuntia bigelovi, a denizen of the harsh deserts of Arizona and northern Mexico. Rest assured, this cactus won't come after you. It's not actively aggressive. However, make contact, even a slight brush, and it will latch onto your skin or clothing with tenacious ferocity. This formidable coat of spines serves multiple purposes. It shields the plant from ravenous animals, provides vital shade from the relentless sun, and helps retain precious moisture. The lateral branches of the cholla are its lifeblood. They are the powerhouses of photosynthesis, converting sunlight into energy, and they act as reservoirs, storing significant quantities of water within their fleshy interiors. So, despite the obvious dangers, this cactus can, in theory, be a source of life for desperate desert wanderers, if they can overcome its defenses. And those defenses are formidable. Examine the needles closely. They aren't mere spikes. They are subtly barbed, shaped like tiny hooks. A single touch, and hundreds of these miniature grappling hooks embed themselves in your flesh. Extracting them is an exercise in agony and frustration, and the lingering pain is a constant reminder of your encounter. But the most fascinating aspect of the jumping cholla is its unique method of reproduction. This plant is a master of self-cloning, replicating itself across the landscape. As animals, or unsuspecting humans, brush against the cholla, the cactus readily relinquishes a small piece of itself, armed with a dense cluster of needles. This fragment hitches a ride, clinging stubbornly to its host. Once dislodged and dropped onto the desert floor, this piece takes root, beginning a new life as a genetic copy of the parent plant. The desert's dangers only escalate from here. Now, A different kind of threat emerges on the horizon, hurtling toward us with surprising speed. An ostrich. Many dismiss these birds as cowardly creatures, perpetuating the myth of them, burying their heads in the sand. But a face-to-face encounter with an angry ostrich will quickly dispel such notions. Generally, ostriches aren't inherently aggressive. However, approach their nest too closely, and you will trigger a primal protective instinct. The problem? Outrunning them is virtually impossible. Ostriches can reach speeds of up to 43 miles per hour. You'd need a car to truly escape their wrath. They've been known to charge and strike with their chests, and there are documented cases of ostriches attacking vans, causing considerable damage. But their most dangerous weapons are their powerful legs, tipped with sharp, formidable claws. A well-aimed kick can deliver a devastating blow, even incapacitating a prone opponent. So, heed this warning. If you spot an ostrich in the distance, it's best to choose another path. Now, our attention shifts to a smaller, seemingly less imposing creature. This small speckled lizard spends the vast majority of its life hidden beneath the sands of the arid deserts of the southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico. Occasionally, it ventures to the surface in search of a meal. At first glance, it might appear cute and harmless. But don't be deceived. This is a Gila monster, Heloderma suspectum, and it's anything but defenseless. Its thick, leathery skin provides a natural armor, protecting it from predators like hawks and coyotes. But its true defense lies in its venom. Unlike snakes and spiders, which inject their toxins through needle-like fangs, the Gila monster employs a different strategy. It clamps down on its prey and chews, working the venom into the wound. And when it bites a human, it can maintain its grip for an extended period, making it difficult to dislodge. Those who have experienced a Gila monster bite describe the sensation as molten magma coursing through their veins. Despite its fearsome reputation, the Gila monster has proven to be a boon to science. Researchers have discovered that its venom contains compounds that can be used to develop medications for diabetes and obesity, offering hope to millions. Now, prepare yourself. The moment has arrived to confront one of the desert's most unsettling inhabitants. Silence is key. Listen intently to the stillness that surrounds you. Stand motionless. You perceive nothing. Then, a subtle hissing sound reaches your ears, emanating from the ground nearby. You slowly lower your gaze, and there it is. A massive, yellow spider, easily the size of a human hand. Its powerful jaws and long, spindly legs are partially concealed in the shadow cast by your own body. A wave of primal fear washes over you, and you instinctively recoil from this monstrous creature. But it gives chase, scuttling relentlessly in your wake. It's difficult to remain calm in this situation, but try. This creature isn't interested in you per se. It's merely seeking refuge from the sun's scorching rays, using your shadow as a temporary shield. Nevertheless, it's best to avoid any direct contact. The powerful jaws of the camel spider, also known as a wind scorpion or sun spider, can, first and second largest, are Antarctica and the Arctic, dwarfing the Sahara by millions of square miles. It may seem strange, but deserts come in different forms. Antarctica and the Arctic are classified as polar deserts, whereas the Sahara is a subtropical desert. The defining characteristic is air temperature. In the interior of Antarctica, temperatures can plummet to a staggering 76 degrees. Contrast this with the Sahara, where the highest recorded temperature reached a scorching 136 degrees. However, this desert holds a surprising secret: cool nights. The nighttime temperature in the Sahara roughly mirrors the average yearly temperature in Denmark. This dramatic temperature fluctuation makes choosing appropriate attire a real challenge when venturing into the Sahara. And what about the sand itself? How deep does it actually go? The depth varies considerably, ranging from approximately 70 to 140 feet. That's not as deep as you might imagine. If you were to place the Statue of Liberty on a towering dune, about half of it would still be visible above the sand. The Sahara's immense sand deposits are the result of aeolian processes, a term derived from the Greek word for wind. Over countless years, the wind has sculpted and shaped the Earth's surface in these arid regions with limited vegetation. Wind erosion occurs at a much faster rate. This is precisely what transpired in North Africa. Beneath the seemingly endless sea of sand lies bedrock and cracked clay. If you were to dig deep enough, you would encounter similar geological formations found across the planet. However, there's a crucial distinction. In most places, a layer of soil covers the bedrock. This is not the case in the Sahara. Due to the arid climate and the scarcity of plant life, sand directly blankets the ground below. Over millennia, numerous fascinating artifacts have become entombed within the desert sands. Petrified tree trunks are among these remarkable finds. These are essentially prehistoric trees, preserved in stone, dating back to a time when the region was a verdant, thriving forest. In some locations, these fossilized trees stand at an impressive 65 feet tall. The wood is so remarkably preserved that you can still discern the intricate textures and knots. Fossilized pine cones have even been discovered. In 1992, scientists stumbled upon fragments of glass in the eastern Sahara. These distinctive canary yellow shards were scattered across hundreds of square miles. They were not remnants of an ancient civilization, although ancient Egyptians did incorporate them into jewelry. In fact, the breastplate of King Tutankhamun featured a striking scarab beetle centerpiece crafted from this desert glass. For many years, the origin of these glass fragments remained a mystery. Eventually, scientists concluded that the glass was approximately 29 million years old and was a type of impactite. As the name suggests, impactites are associated with impacts. These rocks form when a meteorite strikes the Earth's surface, generating immense heat. Scientists estimate that temperatures approaching 3,000 degrees Celsius were required to melt the minerals that form this glass. So, in addition to the ubiquitous fine-grained sand, the Sahara also holds melted sand. But the desert holds even more surprises. Shark teeth are a relatively common discovery in Morocco, located in the western reaches of the Sahara. What are the fossilized teeth of these marine predators doing in the heart of the desert? Millions of years ago, this region looked dramatically different. A sea once bisected what is now a desert. The Trans-Saharan Seaway stretched across the area of modern-day Algeria and Mali. It was around 165 feet deep, providing ample space for a diverse array of aquatic life. Large catfish, sea snakes, and, of course, sharks thrived in these waters. British archaeologists even unearthed a turtle shell in Mali during the 1980s. For centuries, an entire Roman city lay hidden beneath the sands. Timgad was a Roman outpost established by Emperor Trajan around 100 AD. The city was abandoned around 700 AD for reasons unknown. The sands of the Sahara gradually swallowed the city, concealing it for nearly a millennium, until a Scottish explorer stumbled upon its ruins in the 1700s. Imagine a scene unfolding in the vast, unforgiving Sahara Desert. Here, as the sands shifted, a Scottish explorer, captivated by the allure of the unknown, embarked on a quest that would rewrite history. Through dedicated digging, his team unearthed a breathtaking sandstone triumphal arch soaring 40 feet into the sky. A structure reminiscent of the iconic arches that grace Rome and Paris today. Not long after, an amphitheater emerged from the embrace of the sand, its presence a testament to a bygone era. Well-preserved statues of Roman emperors began to materialize, their silent gazes fixed on a world that had long forgotten them. The Scotsman's find was so astonishing, so grand in scale, that initial disbelief met his claims. It would take 2 more centuries for archaeologists to fully excavate the city. By the 1950s, the site sprawled across an area as vast as 10 polo fields. The ruins revealed the full mastery of Roman city planning. Streets intersected at perfect right angles, forming an orthogonal grid, a layout mirrored in modern metropolises like New York. Historians estimate that during its peak, this city, known as Thimici, was home to 10,000 souls. A melting pot of nationalities thrived here, from Romans to people of African descent. Now, fast forward to the present day. Over 2.5 million people inhabit the lands in and around the Sahara, spread across 11 countries. Their living space, however, faces an ever-growing threat. The desert is expanding, now 10% larger than it was a century ago. This isn't a sudden surge of sand. Rather, ecosystems on the desert's fringes are slowly transforming. The wind relentlessly strips away the soil, vegetation withers, and the conditions ripen for desertification. These changes are most acutely felt in the Sahel, a region bordering the Sahara to the south. In response, African nations have united to create the Great Green Wall. This ambitious project aims to halt the desertification of the Sahel, to hold back the relentless advance of the Sahara's sands. The plan involves planting a vast wall of trees stretching from the western to the eastern reaches of the African continent. This proposed forest will be immense in both length and width. The Sahara and the Sahel share a deep historic connection. Since antiquity, camel caravans have traversed the landscape, forging routes from Africa's Mediterranean coast in the north to the savannas in the south. The golden age of this trade flourished in the 9th century. These journeys were fraught with peril, often taking months to complete. The routes were 2.5 times longer than the Grand Canyon. Even today, explorers unearth remnants of these ancient caravans, hidden beneath the sands of the Sahara. Now let's shift gears to another continent, another mystery. Imagine a 15-year-old, bored with video games, decides to revisit an old passion: tracking down lost Mayan cities. This young mind stumbles upon the idea that ancient civilizations might have aligned their cities with constellations. Intrigued, he seeks to discover whether this holds true for the Mayans. He unearths a book detailing the constellations revered by the Mayan civilization. Armed with this knowledge, he opens Google Maps and begins plotting the locations of known Mayan cities. A pattern emerges. The largest ancient Mayan cities seem to correspond with the brightest stars in the Mayan constellations. Driven by this discovery, he maps over 100 ancient cities. But then, a discrepancy catches his eye. In Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, archaeologists have unearthed 2 Mayan cities, yet the corresponding constellation map shows 3 stars. Could this signify a long-lost city waiting to be discovered? This might seem like a flight of fancy, but this story is true. A Canadian teenager named William Gadori made this discovery. Lauded as a science genius, he even received an award for his constellation theory. Noticing a missing city in a particular constellation, he scoured the internet for satellite imagery. He analyzed images from NASA, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, and Google Earth. Unsatisfied, he contacted a friend at the Canadian Space Agency. His friend provided him with advanced satellite imagery, revealing a large square area on the border of Mexico and Belize. This area appeared to be the remains of a lost city. William had captured the images that... Imagine a remote sensing expert, Dr. Armand Laro, from the University of New Brunswick, poring over satellite images. His task? To analyze a potentially groundbreaking discovery. After meticulous study, Dr. Laro concluded that the area in question might conceal a lost Mayan city. The images hinted at the presence of as many as 30 structures, perhaps even a large pyramid. The news sent shockwaves through the scientific and archaeological communities. Could a 15-year-old's discovery truly unveil a forgotten Mayan metropolis? To understand the magnitude of this claim, let's journey back in time. The mid-20th century saw the initial rediscovery of lost Mayan cities, heart of the Sahara Desert. Here, amidst endless dunes, scientists have made an extraordinary discovery. By analyzing isotopes of magnesium and aluminum on the surface of an ancient stone, they've determined its age, approximately 4.2 billion years. This makes it the oldest sample of magma from space ever found, a relic from a small protoplanet that never fully formed. Let's journey back to the nascent stages of our solar system, an epoch of cosmic construction. Immense asteroids roam the void, some destined to coalesce into the planets we know today. The larger rocky planets acted as gravitational vacuum cleaners, absorbing their smaller brethren. This particular rock was once part of a tiny protoplanet, just beginning its formation when cosmic catastrophe struck. A colossal asteroid impacted it, shattering the protoplanet into billions of fragments. Some of these fragments were absorbed by other growing planets, others were ejected into interstellar space, and one particular piece embarked on a solitary journey through the cosmos. For eons, it wandered until, millions of years ago, our Earth was formed. Finally, it plunged through Earth's atmosphere and landed in what we now know as the Sahara Desert. The rock was discovered in 2020. Weighing around 70 pounds, this ancient wanderer contains within it several different types of meteorites. In essence, it's a volcanic rock born from lava that cooled, solidified, and crystallized over unimaginable eons. Hence the glitter that catches the eye. Scientists hope that further study of this cosmic artifact will unlock new secrets about the formation of our solar system. Now, let's turn our attention to the largest asteroid ever discovered in the United States, the Willamette meteorite. This behemoth, spanning 84 square feet and weighing over 15 tons, roughly half the weight of a bus, is a sight to behold. Several people could comfortably stand on its surface, suspended between Earth and the vastness of space. But the most remarkable aspect of Willamette is its composition. Unlike most meteorites, which are rocky, Willamette is composed of nickel and iron. This massive piece of metal was discovered in 1906 and now resides at the American Museum of Natural History. Our journey takes us next to Namibia, the home of Hoba, the largest meteorite ever found. Weighing a staggering 60 tons, heavier than a tank, Hobo has never been moved due to its immense weight. On February 28th, in southwest England, a dramatic event unfolded. A brilliant flash illuminated the sky, followed by a deafening crash. Residents, startled by the commotion, emerged from their homes to find a black, sooty patch on their lawns. Realizing what had occurred, they promptly reported the discovery to the British Meteorite Observation Network. It's crucial to remember that if you ever encounter a meteorite, report it to a geological research institution or space center as quickly as possible. The longer a space rock remains exposed to the elements, the more its scientific value diminishes. Rain, dust, snow, wind, and the relentless sun all conspire to erode the meteorite's surface, making it increasingly difficult to study. The meteorite found in England resembled coal, but was far softer and more fragile. Scientists believe it likely contained frozen water. This rock is a fragment of a massive asteroid that hurtled through space during the solar system's early formation. The unique combination of minerals found within it may provide crucial insights into the origins of our solar system and the emergence of life on Earth. Our adventure continues to Nördlingen, a small town in Germany, where a colossal ancient meteorite lies hidden in plain sight. Unless you know the town's secret, you're unlikely to notice it. You might wander through the charming streets, admiring the beautiful architecture, and never suspect the cosmic history beneath your feet. To solve the mystery, we must leave the town and ascend a nearby hill. From this vantage point, the truth becomes clear. Nördlingen is nestled within a vast pit. For centuries, locals believed their town occupied the crater of an extinct volcano. However, in the mid-20th century, a team of geologists arrived and quickly determined that the crater was not volcanic in origin. Nördlingen, they declared, was built within a massive impact crater carved by a meteorite approximately 15 million years ago. The celestial object was so hot that the carbon bubbles inside instantly transformed into tiny diamonds. When the townspeople built their homes, they unknowingly incorporated these diamonds into the very foundations of their city. They were unaware that the stones were valuable. Because the diamonds were barely noticeable, the locals never considered the city's walls, which shimmered strangely in the sunlight, to be significant. They now think the city was constructed from diamonds that fell from the sky. Our next destination is back in the UK. This time, the rocks are of earthly origin. The well-known Stonehenge consists of circles of rocks arranged in a specific pattern. Everyone is familiar with this archaeological site, but the purpose of its construction remains unknown. Another structure constructed of mysterious rocks was discovered just 2 miles away. It's called Superhenge. It is larger and heavier than Stonehenge, and it occupies more space. Each slab is 15 feet tall, about the height of a two-story building. The stones once stood vertically, forming a massive semicircle, but someone knocked them over about 4,500 years ago. It was a college prank, not really, but that is why they remained undetected for so long. Scientists are still baffled by the mystery of Superhenge, but they believe the standing vertical stones were part of a massive monument. Other remarkable rocks can be found in southern Costa Rica. Some are large, about the size of a human, while others are smaller, about the size of bowling balls, and they are all perfectly round. People created these massive stone spheres. It must have taken years of polishing with stone tools to achieve the perfect round shape. These balls are incredibly heavy, but they roll easily, like a basketball. The rocks are of varying ages, with some dating back approximately 2,500 years. The majority are made of molten volcanic magma. Scientists are still unsure of the purpose of these stones. They have been discovered near major cities throughout Costa Rica. It is possible that ancient civilizations erected them to demonstrate the greatness of local kings. Many experts also believe the rocks served as astronomical tools. The people who knew the rock's purpose vanished, and the stone's history was lost with them. Let us conclude our journey with the most incredible archaeological discovery. Imagine yourself trekking through the Peruvian desert and ascending a low hill. You glance down and notice the hill's surface is covered in strange lines. You walk a long distance away and see a massive cat on the hillside. Such a drawing is referred to as a geoglyph. It is approximately 120 feet long, which is about half the size of a Boeing commercial jet. Archaeologists discovered the giant cat in 2020 and determined that it was created between 200 and 100 BCE. This massive drawing is part of a mysterious collection of images. In addition to the cat, there are other animals, plants, and fantastical figures, all discovered in the Peruvian desert. The kitten was discovered by accident. Archaeologists initially overlooked it because natural erosion on the hillside had nearly erased its silhouette. We've all heard of the Sahara, of course. It is the world's largest hot desert, a sea of sand that covers an area larger than the contiguous United States. But have you ever wondered what lies beneath the sand dunes? To answer this question, we must travel far back in time on our blue planet. The Sahara was once grassland until about 6,000 years ago. Humans were present at the time, spreading agriculture throughout the planet. The color green predominated in North Africa. Abundant rainfall resulted in lakes, rivers, pastures, and even forests. A stark contrast to the barren landscape of the Sahara today. However, the climate began to shift. The region became parched, and vegetation began to disappear. The wind took care of the rest, removing the fine sediment once there were no plant roots to hold the ground together. Give it a few thousand years, and you'll have the familiar image of the Sahara. Sand and rocks stretching as far as the eye can see. However, sand accounts for only about a quarter of the Sahara's total volume. The yellow sands of the Sahara are only part of the story. The desert also has gravel plains, salt flats, and plateaus. It makes you wonder if we truly understand the meaning of the word desert. For geologists and experts who dedicate their lives to understanding such landscapes, one key factor defines a desert: precipitation. If a region receives minimal or no rainfall, it earns the designation of a desert. The Sahara Desert unquestionably fits this description. Its average annual rainfall measures a mere 3 inches. To put that in perspective, New York City receives nearly 45 inches of rain annually. Yet despite its arid conditions, this sandy expanse ranks only as the third largest desert on Earth. The inflict a surprisingly painful bite. And, despite its appearance, this creature isn't technically a spider at all. It belongs to the class Arachnida, but it occupies its own distinct order, Solifugae. Camel spiders are known to be fearless and quite aggressive. They prey on insects, lizards, rodents, and even small birds. And they can move with surprising speed, reaching up to 10 miles per hour for their relatively small size. Imagine yourself trekking through the scorching deserts of the Middle East. But beware, you're not alone. Here lurks a creature that seems straight out of a nightmare. The camel spider, also known as Solpugids. While most commonly found in these arid lands, these bizarre runners also inhabit Mexico and the southwestern United States. But don't think you're safe just because the sun is out. These predators are nocturnal, shunning the daylight. They're always on the prowl, relentlessly hunting. Your shadow. Yes, you heard right. They earned their peculiar name from their habit of seeking refuge in the cool shadows cast by camels. You might think you're safe from them during the day, but at night, especially near a campfire, they'll come for you, drawn to the light like moths to a flame, hoping for an easy meal. These solpugids are not entirely defenseless either. Some species even produce a chilling hissing sound, a desperate attempt to ward off potential threats. Now, let's venture away from the scorching sands and into the humid tropics of Tanzania. Picture this: beneath the rotting bark of ancient trees, amongst decaying leaves, and within the pitch-black depths of unexplored caves, dwells one of the most unnerving creatures on Earth, the tailless whip scorpion. Envision a scorpion, but stripped of its tail, its body flattened as if pressed by an immense weight. While related to spiders, this monster lacks venom glands and the ability to spin webs. This creature is an ambush predator, silent, lightning fast. But the truly terrifying feature? Its two front appendages, elongated into menacing claws, twice the length of its own body. Any prey unfortunate enough to be ensnared in their grasp has little chance of escape. Life in perpetual darkness has robbed these whip scorpions of their keen eyesight. They instinctively avoid sunlight. During molting, the process of shedding their exoskeleton, they ascend to the highest point, clinging to the ceilings of caves. Imagine focusing your flashlight upwards and witnessing these pale, bizarre creatures emerging from their old skins, their legs appearing grotesquely elongated. If you ever find yourself in such a situation, remain calm and retreat slowly. These flat scorpions can vanish under your clothing in an instant, delivering a painful bite to your abdomen. But here's a surprising twist. Despite their fearsome appearance, these creatures are among the shyest and most harmless of arachnids. They are more afraid of you than you are of them, and will rarely attack. In fact, many people find them fascinating and keep them as pets in terrariums. If you decide to keep a whip scorpion, be vigilant. They are escape artists. If one manages to break free, recapturing it will be a daunting task. It can vanish under your bed or squeeze through the narrowest cracks in the floor in seconds. From there, it might even infiltrate your neighbor's apartment through the ventilation system, causing widespread panic. Now, how about another scorpion? This one isn't as visually disturbing as the previous creatures, but it holds a different kind of danger. It's the most venomous scorpion in the United States. The Arizona bark scorpion, Centruroides sculpturatus. The problem is that these scorpions are highly adaptable, thriving in the desert, inside homes, and in gardens. These venomous pests frequently invade human dwellings, and their stings are a common occurrence. A single sting can inflict pain comparable to that of a bee sting. However, for individuals with allergies, the consequences can be far more severe, including paralysis, breathing difficulties, and other life-threatening complications. Picture yourself under the relentless sun, traversing the endless sand dunes of the Sahara Desert, driven by the allure of an ancient treasure. Finally, you stumble upon an unusual rock half buried in the sand. It's substantial, resembling a chunk of black coal, yet something shimmering on its surface sets it apart. This extraordinary find is the oldest object ever discovered on our planet. This rock's origins predate the very formation of Earth. This remarkable meteorite was discovered in 2020 in a remote region of the Sahara Desert. Scientists, through meticulous analysis of magnesium and aluminum isotopes on its surface, determined its age to be approximately 4.6 billion years. This makes it the oldest sample of magma from space ever found. It originated from a small protoplanet, a celestial body that never fully formed. This event transpired in the distant past, during the nascent stages of our solar system. Countless asteroids roamed through space, some coalescing into massive celestial bodies that would eventually become planets. The larger rocky planets absorbed the smaller ones. This particular rock was once part of a small protoplanet that was just beginning to take shape, but it was obliterated by a colossal asteroid. The protoplanet shattered into countless fragments. Some were incorporated into other planets, others were ejected from the solar system, and one lone piece drifted through the cosmos until it encountered Earth, plunged through the atmosphere, and landed in what is now the Sahara Desert. Back in 2020, a remarkable discovery was made, though telltale signs of erosion suggest this space rock may have arrived on Earth long before that. Imagine an ancient traveler from the cosmos, weighing in at approximately 70 pounds, and containing fragments from multiple meteorites within its form. In essence, this is a volcanic rock, born from molten lava that gradually cooled, solidified, and underwent crystallization, resulting in the shimmering effect you can observe. Scientists are optimistic that further investigations into this intriguing rock will unlock new insights into the very nature of our solar system. Speaking of colossal finds, the largest asteroid discovered on American soil is known as the Winona meteorite, or WAMET. This giant measures a staggering 84 square feet and tips the scales at over 15 tons, roughly half the weight of a city bus. Several people could comfortably stand atop this extraterrestrial behemoth. But what truly sets WAMET apart is its composition. Unlike most meteorites, which are primarily rock, WAMET is forged from solid nickel and iron. This metallic giant was unearthed back in 1906 and now resides at the American Museum of Natural History, a testament to its significance. However, even WAMET pales in comparison to the largest meteorite ever found, HOBA. This titan rests in Namibia, unmoved since its discovery due to its immense weight. HOBA weighs an astonishing 60 tons, heavier than a battle tank. Now, let's turn our attention to a more recent cosmic event. On February 28th, in the skies over southwest England, a brilliant flash momentarily turned night into day, followed by a deafening crash. Residents, startled by the commotion, ventured outside to find a peculiar black smudge marring their lawns. Recognizing the telltale signs, they promptly reported their discovery to the British Meteorite Observation Network. Remember, should you ever stumble upon a suspected meteorite, it's crucial to notify a geological research institution or space center as quickly as possible. The longer a space rock remains exposed to the elements, the more its scientific value diminishes. Rain, dust, snow, wind, and the relentless sun all contribute to the degradation of the meteorite's surface, hindering detailed analysis. The meteorite recovered in England may resemble a lump of coal, but it's far more delicate and prone to crumbling. Scientists believe it once contained frozen water, a relic from the early solar system. This rock is a fragment of a massive asteroid that journeyed through space during the solar system's formative years. The unique combination of minerals locked within this meteorite promises to reveal secrets about the origins of both our solar system and life on Earth itself. Our journey now takes us to Nördlingen, a quaint town nestled in Germany. Here, an immense ancient meteorite lies hidden in plain sight. Unless you know the town's secret, it's easy to miss. Imagine strolling through the charming streets, admiring the picturesque architecture, and spending an entire day without suspecting the truth. To unravel the mystery, you must venture outside the town and ascend a nearby hill. From this vantage point, the truth is revealed. The town is situated within a vast pit. For generations, locals believed their town occupied the crater of an extinct volcano. However, in the mid-20th century, a team of geologists arrived and quickly determined that the crater's features were inconsistent with volcanic activity. Nördlingen, they concluded, was built upon a colossal impact crater formed by a meteorite strike roughly 15 million years ago. The impact was so intense that the carbon bubbles within the rocks instantly. Ruins of places like Tikal, Palenque, and Washaktun emerged from the jungle's embrace. The Mayans, one of the most significant pre-Columbian civilizations in the Americas, began settling in the region as early as 1500 BCE. At its peak, experts estimate their civilization comprised over 40 cities, teeming with millions of inhabitants. A colossal civilization. These Mayan cities were remarkable feats of engineering and artistry. Their civilization stretched across Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, and Belize. Primarily an agricultural society, the Mayans developed sophisticated irrigation systems to sustain their populations. Central to their cities were ceremonial buildings, towering pyramids, expansive plazas, and even ball courts for ritualistic games. The Mayans were master pyramid builders, but their talents extended far beyond architecture. They possessed an advanced astronomical system. With their ancient technology, they could predict the precise location of planets like Venus and Mars, and even forecast eclipses with uncanny accuracy. This is why the methodology used to discover this long-lost Mayan city, while unusual, wasn't entirely out of the realm of possibility. The Mayans were keen observers of the cosmos, so it wouldn't be surprising if they aligned their major architectural achievements with celestial events. They certainly wouldn't be the first to do so. A significant branch of Egyptology, for example, is dedicated to studying how the Giza pyramids were built in perfect alignment with the Orion constellation. Each pyramid was deliberately positioned to mirror one of the major stars in Orion's belt. The young discoverer was driven by a fundamental question. Why did the Mayans build their cities where they did? Major cities like Chichen Itza and Uxmal aren't located near rivers or significant water sources. Instead, they were built on marginal lands and mountaintops, a fact that puzzled the young researcher. He theorized that astronomy might hold the key. He named the new city Mouth of Fire, or Keak-Chi, and even won an award for his work. However, his theory faced fierce opposition from within the archaeological community. Many Mayan experts sought to debunk his findings. Some archaeologists argued that constellation theories were too speculative. Anthony Aveni, a renowned anthropologist and astronomer, dismissed the methodology as an act of creative imagination, arguing that there's no way to definitively know what the Mayan constellations truly were. It's all conjecture. Further criticism came from Mayanist David Stewart, who claimed that the objects identified on the satellite imagery were nothing more than an old cornfield. An expedition to the area in 2021 seemed to support this claim, with archaeologists reporting no evidence of any structures. Despite the controversy, the idea of a 15-year-old almost discovering a lost Mayan city remains undeniably exciting. And techniques similar to those he used are indeed being employed to uncover lost civilizations worldwide. According to space archaeologist Sarah Parcak, satellite imagery is a critical tool in discovering ancient cities in places like Egypt. She spends her days scouring images for subtle clues that might indicate the presence of buried settlements. The principle is simple. Anything buried leaves a trace. Over time, buried structures become covered by vegetation, soil, sand, or even modern construction. To penetrate these layers and assess what lies beneath, archaeologists use infrared technology. For example, a major discovery in Brazil involved the detection of a network of trenches dating back to 200 to 1200 AD through the analysis of satellite imagery. Imagine traveling back in time, not millions of years, but just a few centuries. Around the year zero, there's evidence of settlements potentially housing approximately 60,000 people. Recent advances in technology are now allowing us to see these settlements with new eyes. Satellite imagery has become a game changer. Unlike some earlier cases of mistaken identity, in this instance, the images from space perfectly matched what was on the ground. Researchers from the University of Florida meticulously examined the area and unearthed several mounds, complete with intricate ditch systems and impressive geoglyphs. Further discoveries revealed the remnants of carefully engineered walls, designed with a central focus on strategically placed closets, a design eerily similar to the architectural prowess of the ancient Mayans. These advancements in satellite technology continue to shed new light on previously discovered ancient Mayan cities, such as Tikal. Picture this: Tikal, nestled deep within the heart of the Guatemalan jungle. It is believed to have been the very capital of the ancient Mayan Empire. At its peak, Tikal rivaled the importance of modern metropolises, like London or New York. The city was a complex tapestry of monuments, many thought to be the final resting places of Mayan kings and chiefs. Tikal was already known to be a sprawling urban center, but recent discoveries suggest it could have been 3 times larger than originally estimated. The key to this revelation lies in the fortification discovered on the city's outskirts, revealing the true extent of the original urban sprawl. And the discoveries keep coming. In 2017, researchers unearthed new clues about the potential causes of the Mayan civilization's decline. Examining data from a side and seawall located 62 miles southwest of Tikal, scientists analyzed radiocarbon data extracted from ceramics and archaeological excavations. This painstaking work revealed a nuanced picture of the Mayan demise. Instead of a sudden cataclysmic collapse, it appears the Mayan civilization likely crumbled in waves of social instability and political crises. These events gradually weakened the Mayan city centers, leading to the dispersion of the population. It seems like now is the perfect moment to unearth ancient ruins. What do you say? Are you ready to join the adventure? Picture this. You've checked your reflection, confirming your trusty beige parka is ready. Your chisel is packed, and your overnight flight to Saudi Arabia is booked. You know what this means, right? While you might not be starring in the latest remake of Dune, you are ready to explore the world's largest desert areas on a quest to uncover the prehistoric secrets of our ancestors. Let's be clear. If you ever thought deserts were empty, desolate spaces, think again. They may appear to be endless seas of sand, but they hold a wealth of history. Before humans settled in cities and towns, we were nomadic people, constantly traversing the globe in search of food, water, and shelter. This nomadic lifestyle required ingenuity and innovation to survive. Consider this intriguing structure discovered in the Saudi Arabian desert. For years, scientists have debated the origins and purpose of these enormous constructions. It turns out our Neolithic ancestors were far more sophisticated than we often give them credit for. They weren't just huddled around fires, carving weapons out of stone. They were also honing their architectural skills. These massive stone structures are known as desert kites. From a distance, their shape vaguely resembles kites soaring through the air. Archaeologists generally agree that these kites were used to trap animals, providing our ancestors with a more reliable source of food. But there's more to the story. Look at these monolithic structures. They suggest that our ancestors likely sketched out blueprints on rocks, planning their constructions before ever breaking ground, much like modern-day architects. Desert kites could stretch for miles, so careful planning was essential. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of these kites is their age. They predate even Stonehenge, dating back an astonishing 7,000 to 9,000 years. Over the past decade, scientists have identified over 6,000 desert kites scattered across the Middle East, West Asia, and Central Asia. Imagine trying to build something of this scale without the aid of modern technology like drones. It's a truly impressive feat. And apparently, the deserts of Saudi Arabia are filled with more amazing secrets. Imagine stumbling upon stone structures shrouded in mystery that predate even the majestic pyramids of Giza. It sparks the adventurer in all of us, doesn't it? But let's be honest, just the thought of hauling massive stones to erect a pyramid without modern machinery is mind-boggling. How on earth did they manage such feats? Now picture this. We journey back 2 millennia, only to discover evidence of ancient humans constructing similar colossal structures in the most isolated corners of the world. Behold the so-called maddles, rectangular formations meticulously crafted from piled stones scattered across an area spanning over 77,000 square miles. Some archaeologists speculate these monuments served ritualistic purposes, perhaps elaborate processions where people traversed the plateau from end to end. Intriguing, isn't it? But our journey doesn't end there. We now venture into another desolate landscape, the world-renowned Sahara Desert. A breathtaking vista, wouldn't you agree? Here, we prepare to unravel an ancient enigma, a puzzle that consumed researchers for